Welcome to Browns football, everybody, and it's the first night of football in downtown Cleveland, and it's always great to be back at Cleveland Browns Stadium, even though it's a tad on the wet side tonight. Rain throughout the afternoon, rain probably throughout the evening for the Browns and the St. Louis Rams. The Browns at 1-0 after beating Green Bay. The Rams at 0-1 after losing to the Minnesota Vikings last week. Hi, everybody. Jim Donovan along with Bernie Kosar as we have the home opener for the Browns. We get right to the Ford keys to the game. Brought to you by Ford. See your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers or visit drive1ohio.com. Bernie, it's important now for the Browns. Good last week. They want to be even better this week.
Yeah, fantastic last week, especially offensively. But complacency could be the enemy to everybody, and you want to get better each and every day throughout the preseason.
Even though the Rams were 1-15 last year, the Browns want to take care of their own business. Now, remember, early last week, they really blitzed a lot against the Packers, but they didn't get there. What about their pass rush?
Exactly right. A lot of blitzing last week to try to get pressure on the quarterback. No doubt you want to try to get it with your front three or your front four in the third down situations.
Now, our third Ford key to the game becomes this, a bit of a problem area for the Browns, and it really reared its head this week in training camp. The right side of their offensive line is banged up.
The following high-definition broadcast is an exclusive presentation of WKYC Channel 3 Sports.
Tonight, it's football in Cleveland as the Browns and Rams kick off from Cleveland Browns Stadium. Browns fans are excited about last week's win in Green Bay as Phil Dawson sealed the deal with a game-winning field goal. Now, it's clear this is a new team with a new quarterback. Jake Delhomme led the offense in a precise 80-yard opening drive that ended with a touchdown. And backup Seneca Wallace can drive a defense mad with his scrambling ability. The Browns have finally found a hitter in their secondary. Rookie T.J. Ward hit everything in sight last Saturday. Can the Browns dominate now at home? We'll find out. It's the Browns and Rams next on Channel 3. Welcome to Browns football, everybody, and it's the first night of football in downtown Cleveland, and it's always great to be back at Cleveland Browns Stadium, even though it's a tad on the wet side tonight. Rain throughout the afternoon, rain probably throughout the evening for the Browns and the St. Louis Rams. The Browns at 1-0 after beating Green Bay. The Rams at 0-1 after losing to the Minnesota Vikings last week. Hi, everybody. Jim Donovan along with Bernie Kosar as we have the home opener for the Browns. We get right to the Ford keys to the game. Brought to you by Ford. See your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers or visit drive1ohio.com. Bernie, it's important now for the Browns. Good last week. They want to be even better this week.
Yeah, fantastic last week, especially offensively. But complacency could be the enemy to everybody, and you want to get better each and every day throughout the preseason.
Even though the Rams were 1-15 last year, the Browns want to take care of their own business. Now, remember, early last week, they really blitzed a lot against the Packers, but they didn't get there. What about their pass rush?
Exactly right. A lot of blitzing last week to try to get pressure on the quarterback. No doubt you want to try to get it with your front three or your front four in the third down situations.
Now, our third Ford key to the game becomes this, a bit of a problem area for the Browns, and it really reared its head this week in training camp. The right side of their offensive line is banged up. Sean Laval not here because of a personal reason, and Tony Pashos is not ready.
Absolutely. The left side with Joe Thomas is something that's a solid point for the team, but the right side with the injuries and the young guys is something Coach Mangini wants to take a good long look at tonight.
Bernie will get a chance to see Delhomme and Wallace here tonight, and if they can keep it up the way they did last week against Green Bay.
Yeah, a fantastic start to the preseason for Jake and Seneca last week, and to continue that progress this week would be a nice sign to see.
And when we come back, we'll have the opening kickoff, the Browns and the St. Louis Rams, coming up next.
Yeah, sounds good. Hey, do we know what school that is holding the flag out there?
Lake High School.
Lake High School.
Remember they had their school blown up in that storm? Tonight's injury report brought to you by Cleveland Clinic. Every life deserves world-class care. Dave Sastadil early this week placed on IR. Mohamed Massaquoi out with a hamstring, will not play tonight. If it was a regular season game, he would go. Floyd Womack will not play during the entire preseason. They'll evaluate at the end of the preseason his availability after that. That's a look at the Browns injury report for tonight. Eric Mangini wants the team to get better. Bernie, they got weather to play with here tonight, and you say it's a great night to throw the ball.
Yeah, without this much wind, with the rain coming down, it actually will be easier for the receivers than it is the defensive backs. And Coach Mangini, I think, wants to get a look at more motions and shifts tonight than he did last week against Green Bay, and different personnel groupings to give the future opponents some stuff to look at.
Steve Spagnuolo is in his second year as the head coach of the Rams. He really came into the headlines in the NFL when he was the defensive coordinator with the Giants and took them and led that defense to an incredible performance in the Super Bowl, besting the then undefeated New England Patriots with a tremendous game plan. And then he got the job in St. Louis, but it's tough going with only one win last year.
Yeah, amazing what a difference a great front four will do for you. When they won the Super Bowl with the Giants, what he had in New York and what he has here in St. Louis are two different things. And Coach Spagnuolo, I do think, though, is one of the bright young defensive minds in our league.
St. Louis lost last week, 28-7 to the Minnesota Vikings. Nothing went well for them in that game. Gave up a lot of sacks, and the Browns will get the ball first here tonight in heavy, heavy rain. Kicking off, Josh Brown, who's been suffering from a hip injury, but he is going to kick here tonight, although they may not even attempt long field goals this evening. Back deep, and this is a change from last week. The main man is returning, the great Joshua Cribbs.
Josh wants to get through this preseason without any injuries. I know Coach Mangini wants to see him get a couple of snaps running back, but
here he comes from the 5 and cuts to the middle. Angles left 20, got tripped up and scrambles out near the 24-yard line. About a 23-yard return by Cribbs out near the 24. 1st and 10 for the Browns. Cribbs will stay in the game now as a starting wide receiver tonight for the Browns. And here comes Jake Delhomme off a great performance. One drive against Green Bay. That's all he got. He went 6 for 7, and he took them down the field 66 yards, and they ran it in for the game's first score and took a 7-0 lead. So you can see the rain coming down, heavy at times, and the Browns line up. Harrison and Vickers in the offset eye in the backfield. Cribbs up at the top. There's a bobbled snap right away, and then Harrison bobbles the ball, and it's picked up by the Rams, although they blew the play dead. Button, who's got the button? The Rams thought they had the button as Larry Grant, the former Ohio State Buckeye, picked up the ball that squirted out of Harrison's hands, but they said he was down.
Yeah, we're going to see some no huddle tonight from the Browns. Want to work on the timing and communication, the line of scrimmage. You can see just the center quarterback exchange with the bad weather. The battle of 55s, Alec Max against fellow Ohio Stater James Laurinaitis.
So it's 2nd down. The Browns are lucky to get the ball back. 2nd and 6 as Delhomme did not huddle them up, but did not quick snap the ball either. Cribbs up at the top of your screen, and they give it back to Harrison. He'll run over that left side, and Steinbach and Thomas take it. Then the ball squirted out again, and Cribbs recovered it back at the 30-yard line. Harrison's had the ball come out twice right away.
Early in games, before the ball's really getting broken in, they tend to be a little slippery. I think Coach Mangini's going to use these first 2 plays as coaching points for during the week, for maybe working on the wet ball trick.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 4 as Harrison comes out, and Delhomme will spread everybody out. 3 at the bottom of your screen, 2 up at the top, and he'll be in the shotgun on 3rd down. They need 4 from their own 30, and they pull out on the right side, and Billy Yates looked like he jumped off with Fred Robbins coming across for the Rams.
Yates, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Well, not as fluid as last week in Green Bay.
No, Jake Delhomme there held the count a little bit. The line, he saw the blitz coming from the top of your screen there. Had 2 linebackers in the A gaps, and Yates couldn't hold his water and flinched a little bit.
3rd down and 9 back at their 25-yard line. And again, 5 receivers in the set. Laurinaitis popping up in the line of scrimmage for the Rams. So is the safety. A Tugway was coming over on the right side. Delhomme saw that. Third down. They need 9. Little rollout to the right. Throws. Cribbs is there. Makes the catch, and he'll be brought down. Bartell, the cornerback, got him at the 30-yard line. And he'll bring him down near the 31, and the Browns are going to have to punt after they fumbled the ball twice, had a false start, and then on 3rd and 9, they do not get it, and it's 4th down and 3, and Reggie Hodges is into the game, and he'll punt.
You see Jake Delhomme seeing the blitz coming from the top of the screen, his left. He moved a little to his right. You'd like to see Josh Cribbs on 3rd and 6 or 7, get 8 or 9 yards to get past the first down sticks.
Danny Amendola, who took a punt back 93 yards for their only score last week, runs up, calls a fair catch, and slides and makes the catch. And the Rams will have good field position out over their own 35-yard line. It's a 33-yard punt on the punt by Reggie Hodges. 12 minutes and 50 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Let's take a look at the Rams starting offense. That's going to be brought to us by McDonald's. I'm loving it. A.J. Feely will be the starting quarterback for the St. Louis Rams. So Sam Bradford not getting the start, Bernie. He'll get in. As a look at the Pat Shurmur run offense of the Rams. Jacob Bell, remember, played at St. Ignatius. Roger Saffold is a top rookie, 2nd-round pick. And he comes to them, and they throw a pass wide open on the right side as they get it. A.J. Feely throwing the ball out there, and it's caught by Billy Badgema, the tight end, and he takes it down to the 49-yard line, and that's a 15-yard gain. The Browns' starting defense is brought to you by Liberty Ford, Ohio's #1 Ford dealer group. Rob Ryan would like some more pressure tonight. A look at the linebackers. And in the secondary, Eric Wright does play tonight after missing last week's game with a slight hamstring tweak. 1st and 10 from the 49. They give the ball to Steven Jackson. First action for him. And Jackson, as Gokong tries to rip him down, brings it inside the Browns 40, down near the 38-yard line for 11 yards, and that will be a Rams first down. Jackson coming off-season back surgery. He had over 1,400 yards last year, Bernie.
He looks strong running here. And last week, one of the things we talked about and Coach Mangini wants to look at is the team being physical and how they tackle. Not a good job right there on Steven Jackson's first carry.
So on 1st and 10 now at the Browns' 38-yard line, Jackson in the game. Mike Carney is the fullback in front of him in the eye. First down, Feely, play action fake. Looking, throwing, and it is caught at the 35-yard line. The catch made by Carney, and then over on the tackle is Eric Barton at the 35. So a short gain, and it will be 2nd down and 7, gain of 3.
Yeah, play action pass weak side. The coverage was rolled that way. Barton did a nice job of coverage, and Browns defense did a good job of team defense, really having nowhere to go but to check down for A.J. Feely.
So Feely now has 2nd down and 7 from the Browns' 35. Browns bring up T.J. Ward near the line. They're going to run this time, and Steven Jackson takes it, and he'll drive it down to the 30-yard line, and he's brought down there. In on the tackle for the Browns, getting up, Brian Schaefering, and Matt Roth gets in there. It's a 6-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd down and short. 3rd, they'll need 2.
Yeah, A.J. Feely's really keeping the position warm until they feel Sam Bradford is ready. Having a weapon like Steven Jackson, where on 2nd and 7, you can get in that pass formation and then run the ball with a strong back like Jackson.
3rd down, 2 from the Browns' 30. Feely looking near side, throws as he got hit, and Amendola dives inside and makes the catch on Eric Wright, and that will be a Rams first down to the 22-yard line. The Browns trying to get pressure. Feely got hit when he threw, but he got it off, and it's an 8-yard gain.
A.J. Feely may have hurt his hand on here. He saw the veteran quarterback, saw the blitz coming to the bottom of your screen. They had double slants on, but Feely, I think, hit his hand here. And a roughing the quarterback for a hit to the head. That was not called.
Chris Gokong on the hit on A.J. Feely, who stays in the game. So the Rams have driven down inside the Browns 25 at the 23-yard line. And it's a first down. Feely, Jackson runs right. And the Browns plug that up at the 21, and he'll only get a couple on the play. Over on the tackle, Chris Gokong again. The linebacker over in the offseason in the trade from Philadelphia. Coming along with Sheldon Brown. So it's a 2-yard gain for Jackson, and it will be 2nd down and 8. They did not play him last week against Minnesota, and then he asked to play coming into this game as they wanted to get him some action.
Good run defense by the Browns on first down. Everybody staying in their gaps, holding Jackson to just a 2-yard carry.
Second down at the 21 of Cleveland. No score in the game, but the Rams driving. A.J. Feely back. Matt Roth coming from the outside, couldn't get there. Billy Badgema, the tight end, makes the catch down near the 11-yard line, and that will be another first down with Gokong over there on the coverage and the tackle. But it's 10 yards and another first down for St. Louis.
Yeah, fantastic job of pass protection by the St. Louis Rams, and A.J. Feely finds the open soft spot in the zone coverage.
Gokong and Fujita brought him down. First and 10, now at the 11. A very impressive drive now for the Rams. A.J. Feely with Carney and Jackson in the backfield. They'll give it to Steven Jackson. Where's he going? Nowhere. Robert Smith sliced in and got him down by the ankles at the 10-yard line. It's a 1-yard gain.
A little trouble on the quarterback exchange with Steven Jackson there. He kind of fumbled the ball, slowed him down, delayed him a little bit in the hole here.
See Robert Smith cutting over there along with A.B. Elam to bring him down at the 10. Second down, they need 9. St. Louis at the Browns 10-yard line. They bring the tight end Fells in motion. Feely back to pass, throws out in the flat, drop. Dropped by Mike Carney, the fullback, with Eric Barton and Chris Gokong over there with him inside the 8-yard line, and it will be third downing. You can see right there as Carney comes off that he should have had that ball. This is the 10th play of the drive coming up.
Yeah, nice play call by St. Louis. Two running backs, 2 tight ends, a little power run formation. They do the play action pass, get the back open in the flat. He just can't make the catch. It's a good throw by Feely under these conditions.
So from just inside the Browns 10, it's third down and 9. 3 receivers in the set. Jackson's going to go out wide too as Feely is in the shotgun by himself. Got the ball back at the 15. A little shoulder juke. Throws underneath. Caught. Touchdown St. Louis. As catching the ball is Daniel Fells, the tight end. And the Rams go down and in and take a 6-0 lead.
Jim, good example here of what we talked about. Even though it's raining and bad weather, it's good, actually good to throw it. The pass rush is slowed down. Plenty of time in the pocket for Feely here. Works the center of the field. You don't want to make it that easy on the quarterback.
Brandon McDonald tried to bring him down short of the goal line, but couldn't. And so the Rams are in and take the lead. Josh Brown for the extra point. That was a 9-yard touchdown pass. Feely to Fells. Browns kick is up, and the kick is good. Not a good start for the Browns here at Brown Stadium on the night of their home opener. 7:48 left to go in the first quarter. St. Louis jumps out 7-0. Northern Ohio Toyota dealers for over 30 Toyota offers. Visit buyatoyota.com. 10 plays, 65 yards. They took 501, and Daniel Fells caught a 9-yard touchdown pass from A.J. Feely. 7-0. The Browns couldn't cover the tight ends.
Yeah, they worked the middle of the field on that too deep coverage. But again, one of the keys to the game of that pass rush, trying to get a pass rush, only rushing 3 and 4 guys without the blitz on that first series. The Browns didn't get the rush that we wanted to see.
Brown with a end-over-end line drive, and Cribbs from his 4 cuts left, and then even wider left, and then down as he got knocked down at the 20-yard line. Down to make the tackle is safety Craig Dahl. We'll take a timeout. Browns ball when we come back. 7:42 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 Rams. Ohio, so we welcome those watching in Columbus on WPNS, in Youngstown on WYTV, in Dayton on WHIO, and for all of you in the Cleveland area watching on WKYC TV Channel 3, your official station of the Cleveland Browns. Jim Donovan and Bernie Kosar along with Dave Chinowski on the Browns sideline, and Jake Delhomme and the Browns will begin at their own 21-yard line, down 7-0, and going to try and hold on to the football in this rain. Harrison's fumbled twice, but hasn't had to pay the ultimate price of the Browns losing the ball, and he carries out to the 24-yard line at a gain of 3, and it will be 2nd down and 7. The Browns starting offense brought to you by Liberty Ford, Ohio's #1 Ford dealer group. Ryan Daboll pretty happy with the way things went in Green Bay. Josh Cripps getting the start at wide receiver with Massaquoi being out. 2nd down and 7. From their own 24-yard line, Hillis is the running back with Vickers in the backfield, and they drop the ball again, and this time the Rams have it. Delhomme fumbled the ball, and Fred Robbins recovers it, and the Rams will have a short field at the Browns' 23-yard line.
Second time the fumbled exchange on the exact same play. When Alex Mack is having to reach to his left and the left guard's pulling, the trouble with the exchange between him and Jake Delhomme's been evident by both times having the ball on the ground.
So Harrison has fumbled a couple of times, and Delhomme's had a couple of fumbles with the snap. And this one cost them as they turn it over. And now St. Louis up 7-0, back to work. Sam Bradford, the #1 overall choice in the draft, in a quarterback right now. And the Browns almost blitzed across offside, and he had trouble with the snap. Gives the ball, and it goes to Obanyaya, the second-year running back out of Texas, and he carries down to the 21-yard line.
Young quarterbacks tend to be a little consistent in their snap count. You can see the Browns getting a good jump off the ball, getting in the Rams' offensive backfield there, stuffing the run.
Bradford last week in his opening game, 6 for 13 for 57 yards. He got sacked 4 times by the Vikings. Methinks they went after the rookie quarterback. 2nd down and 8 from the Browns' 21-yard line. Obanyaya is the running back. Bradford's going to throw, and it's almost picked off by Eric Wright, as Wright read the route and jumped in front of Donnie Avery, and he would have been gone, Bernie.
Yeah, Sam Bradford reads the strong safety blitz on the outside. He hitches just enough. You're supposed to throw this right as your back foot plants and hits its 3rd step. He waits just a split second too long, and that was almost pick 6 the other way.
3rd down and 8. Eric Wright and his new number 21 this year changed his number from number 24. And he almost had a touchdown. But the Rams still have the ball, and Bradford will be in the shotgun. Obanyaya and Carney are in the backfield with him in the shotgun. 3rd down, they need 8. He has trouble with the snap. Floats the ball over the middle, and Wright had it in his belly and almost picked it off, and a late flag as Eric might have jumped up on the back of Amendola.
It is interference. A little sloppy in the exchange there.
Pass interference, number 21. Defense. 1st down.
And the ball will still belong to the Rams. They'll get a 1st down. Here it is.
That's incredibly soft call right there. You can't expect a defensive back to not be able to touch him within that 5-yard rule, especially.
With the penalty, it comes at the spot of the foul, which was the 15-yard line. And the Rams get a new set of downs. Amendola is the running back deep in the backfield. Jackson started the game, and Bradford almost fumbled the snap. This is a blown play. He's rolling right, and he'll slide and get underneath, and he'll take about a 2.5-yard loss as the Browns were blowing in left and right after he had trouble with the snap, as Robert Smith was coming from the right, Kenyon Coleman from the left.
Same problem Jake Delhomme had with the center quarterback exchange. Sam drops it coming out from center.
Bernie, it looks like they had a reverse on to Donnie Avery, or maybe a fake reverse, but the wide receiver had pulled around. There he is. They're calling him the big $50 million guaranteed contract coming out of Oklahoma. I mean, it was a $78 million deal, but 50 of it guaranteed. Now it's 2nd down and 12 from back at the Browns' 17-yard line. Here comes a blitz. Bradford back. He throws. It's caught inside the 15-yard line at the 14, and it's caught there by Billy Badgema, the tight end, and T.J. Ward made the tackle.
Very fortunate Sam Bradford here. I don't think he sees the blitz coming from the top of your screen.
So that was Matt Roth blowing in on that left side from the Browns defense. And now it will be 3rd down and 9 as they picked up a meager 3 yards on the play. And the ball is just inside the Browns' 15-yard line. The Rams lead 7-0. Shotgun for the rookie from Oklahoma, Sam Bradford. Browns are sending a blitz. Here they come. He's going to throw for Robinson, and Sheldon Brown knocked it away. LaRon Robinson, the intended receiver, down by the goal line, and Sheldon Brown got up there and knocked it away.
Yeah, all-out eight-man blitz. Sam Bradford reads it nicely, throws the fade. Pretty sloppy route. You got to help your rookie quarterback out a little bit on that.
Josh Brown is in for the field goal try, and it looks like it's going to be, they'll put it down at the 22, so it will be a 32-yard field goal attempt. The holder is Donnie Jones. The snapper is Chris Massey. Here's Brown. Snap. Ball down. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Rams take the Browns fumble and turn it into a field goal. Now 5:01 left to go in the first quarter. 10-0 St. Louis. Mitsubishi. Visit us at 9090 Mentor Avenue in beautiful Mentor, Ohio. Ponchos were the dress code of choice here tonight in this rain.
I was down to the team shop before the game, and that was the item of choice down there.
Absolutely. There you go. A nice orange poncho, or you can go yellow if you like. Right now, the Browns want to be able to find some stickum and hold on to that thing right there, the football, as Josh Brown just added a field goal. And it's now 10-0 St. Louis. Rookie Joe Hayden is back deep, and the ball drops because he thought Harrison was going to catch it. And he's out to the 25, and now the 35, and he stumbles a little bit, but got it out near the 40-yard line. Tripped up finally by Dominique Curry. Well, that looked like a mess, but Hayden turned it into a nice run back. And the Browns will have the ball 28 yards for rookie Joe. 10-0 Rams. Conference is delicious. Name the last player to wear number 19 for the Browns in a regular season game. Think about it. The answer coming up in the fourth quarter. It is 10-0. The Rams in the lead, and the Browns have the ball 1st and 10 now at their own 40-yard line. Jake Delhomme still in there. Takes the snap. Harrison cuts left. He won't get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a half yard on the play. Good play by James Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis in his second year out of Ohio State. Bernie, he had a great rookie year.
Fantastic rookie year, and good to see the Buckeyes well represented in this game.
Wow, the Buckeyes basically dominate the linebacking position here for the Rams. Laurinaitis, Larry Grant, Niall Diggs, and also Bobby Carpenter. All linebackers with the Rams. Second down and a little bit more than 10, about 10 and a half. There they are, the St. Louis Buckeyes. Not Billikens, Buckeyes. Delhomme shotgun, and the Browns trying to get their offense moving. Peyton Hillis in the game at running back. Delhomme out of the pocket, misses Cribbs out at the 45-yard line, and it's incomplete. He was being covered on the play by Marquise Johnson, the rookie defensive back from Alabama. Here's the Rams starting defense, brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. There they are, the linebackers, Diggs, Laurinaitis, and Grant. And that secondary's got to get a lot better than it was last year, mostly because they just got ripped apart by injuries. Now it's third down and 10. There is no rhythm right now to the Browns on offense. From their own 40, Delhomme looking at that safety, a Tugway, who was coming up, and now he drops back. He's up in the pocket. He's going down. Sacked by Fred Robbins.
Fred Robbins just collapses the pocket, does a bull rush technique, and just, again, collapses the center of the pocket. Jake Delhomme nowhere to go with the ball.
Loss of 6. Here it is, Bernie. I think he spun away there from Billy Yates and Alex Mack and got in there and ended up knocking him down. So the Rams will get the ball back as Robbins, a longtime veteran, played for Steve Spagnuolo with the Giants, and Reggie Hodges, a 33-yard punt, his first time, and he drives this one. Nice punt. At the 18-yard line, Sorensen missed a tackle, and running well is Marty Gilliard, the rookie from the University of Cincinnati, a fourth-round pick, and he brings it out to the 41-yard line. The Rams out playing the Browns right now. An 18-yard return and a 10-0 Rams lead. Difference is delicious. Name the last player to wear number 19 for the Browns in a regular season game. Think about it. The answer coming up in the fourth quarter. It is 10-0, the Rams in the lead, and the Browns have the ball first and 10 now at their own 40-yard line. Jake Delhomme still in there. Takes the snap. Harrison cuts left. He won't get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a half yard on the play. Good play by James Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis in his second year out of Ohio State. Bernie, he had a great rookie year.
Fantastic rookie year, and good to see the Buckeyes well represented in this game.
Wow, the Buckeyes basically dominate the linebacking position here for the Rams. Laurinaitis, Larry Grant, Niall Diggs, and also Bobby Carpenter. All linebackers with the Rams. Second down and a little bit more than 10, about 10 and a half. There they are, the St. Louis Buckeyes. Not Billikens, Buckeyes. Delhomme shotgun, and the Browns trying to get their offense moving. Peyton Hillis in the game at running back. Delhomme out of the pocket, misses Cribbs out at the 45-yard line, and it's incomplete. He was being covered on the play by Marquise Johnson, the rookie defensive back from Alabama. Here's the Rams starting defense, brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. There they are, the linebackers, Diggs, Laurinaitis, and Grant. And that secondary's got to get a lot better than it was last year, mostly because they just got ripped apart by injuries. Now it's third down and 10. There is no rhythm right now to the Browns on offense. From their own 40, Delhomme looking at that safety, a Tugway, who was coming up, and now he drops back. He's up in the pocket. He's going down. Sacked by Fred Robbins.
Fred Robbins just collapses the pocket, does a bull rush technique, and just, again, collapses the center of the pocket. Jake Delhomme nowhere to go with the ball.
Loss of 6. Here it is, Bernie. I think he spun away there from Billy Yates and Alex Mack and got in there and ended up knocking him down. So the Rams will get the ball back as Robbins, a longtime veteran, played for Steve Spagnuolo with the Giants, and Reggie Hodges, a 33-yard punt, his first time, and he drives this one. Nice punt. At the 18-yard line, Sorensen missed a tackle. And running well is Marty Gilliard, the rookie from the University of Cincinnati, a 4th-round pick, and he brings it out to the 41-yard line. The Rams out playing the Browns right now. An 18-yard return and a 10-0 Rams lead. Brought to you by Jeep. I live, I ride, I am. Jeep. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Jim, you talk about all the Buckeyes. How about a Hoosier, Roger Saffold? But also, he went to Bedford High School, grew up a Browns fan. The first pick of the 2nd round, and the Rams think so much of him. He is starting his 2nd game at left tackle. Back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. As a matter of fact, they moved another high draft choice of theirs from a couple of years ago, Jason Smith, and they're thinking of pushing him out to the right tackle. He was a high pick out of Baylor, 2nd overall, I think. Now it's 1st and 10 for the Rams. Sam Bradford at quarterback, and he's going to bootleg it out near side. Throw caught. Billy Badgema, the tight end, who's had a very productive first quarter here. And Eric Wright cuts him down at the 44-yard line. Incidentally, Bernie, A.J. Feely, injured thumb on his throwing hand, his right thumb, questionable return.
Yeah, we called it out. We could see on that drive for the touchdown, he hit his hand on the helmet, almost like Colt McCoy did last week.
2nd down and 8 now for Bradford as the rain continues to come down hard here at Brown Stadium. From their own 44 now, and the Browns, Matt Roth on a blitz, and Obadiah will get hit by Roth. Behind the line of scrimmage, he'll knock him down at the 42-yard line. Roth had that time beautifully.
Yeah, Matt Roth, Coach Mangini calls him the hockey equivalent of the enforcer. He's having a fantastic first quarter so far.
3rd down and 9. Here it is. Watch him time that up, and he blows right through the tight end, whose job it was to block him.
Shows some good experience, not getting fooled by the fake reverse action.
From their own 42-yard line, the Browns would love to get pressure on Bradford. Again, they've tried to blitz at him and haven't been able to get him down yet. 3rd down, 9.
And they're blitzing
again, and the ball is dropped. That was a well-thrown ball to Badgema, and it's incomplete. Would have been a 1st down at the Browns' 48. Abe Elam was on the coverage of Badgema as Bradford put it right there.
Yeah, pre-snap read by Sam Bradford was good. Abe Elam was looking like there was a little miscommunication in the Browns' defensive secondary. Bradford did a good job of finding the open receiver, makes a nice throw. Should have been a catch, should have been a 1st down.
Donnie Jones is in to punt. Joshua Cribbs is back to return as Cribbs has now taken 2 kickoffs, and this is his first punt. 10-0 Rams lead. 2:05 to go in the first quarter. Jones, a high hanging punt. Cribbs back, catches inside his 10. He's over the 10, and he fumbled the ball, and the Rams are going to get it, I believe, at the 21-yard line. Chris Massey, the long snapper, is down there to get it as he pulls it away from Ray Ventrone, and the Browns fumble it away again. It was a 50-yard punt.
Fantastic punt. Pins Josh back in the corner. He does a good job, obviously, of making the first guy miss. Loses the ball in a transition while breaking the tackle.
Larry Grant, the former Ohio State linebacker, got in there and ripped the ball away from Cribbs. And again, the Rams get the ball thanks to a Browns fumble on a short field, now at the 21-yard line. Already ahead, 10-0. And we're going to see a lot more of Sam Bradford than I think they had initially planned because of the Feely injury.
Fantastic field position again for Bradford to start the drive.
From the 21 of Cleveland, Bradford again, shotgun, got it. throws, dropped at the 21-yard line. Fujita on the coverage of the running back coming out of the backfield.
Again, our keys to the game are talking about getting a good pass rush with rushing just 3 or 4 guys without having to blitz. There was an example of just rushing 4 and not blitzing and not getting pressure on the quarterback. Fortunately, they dropped the ball.
So they dropped the ball at the 21-yard line. Obiaya dropped it, and now it will be 2nd down and 10. Bradford underneath center, where he's had some problems taking snaps. Remember, he was in the shotgun at Oklahoma a lot. Play action, Kenyon Coleman coming, looking across the middle of the field. Incomplete. TJ Ward is on the tight end all the way down the field into the goal line and did not get flagged on it. Findy Onabun was down there looking for the ball, a former basketball player out of Arizona.
Sam Bradford, nice job of reading the all-out blitz. Sees the middle of the field open, just a little late, and obviously an underthrown ball.
So it will be 3rd down and 10. Findy Onabun played 4 years of basketball at Arizona, then went to Houston and played football for 1 year. And now comes to the Rams trying to make it, a la Antonio Gates. 3rd down, blitz coming out of the secondary. Bradford throws, and it's knocked away by Joe Hayden. Nice play by Hayden. Donnie Avery was the intended receiver.
You'd like to see your quarterback when you get man coverage pressure like that. You have the deeper routes to the outside, especially on 3rd and 10 like that. You don't want to really throw the check down on the short downs. Even if it's completed, it's not going to make the 1st down.
And the Rams will try and settle for 3 again, as it will be Josh Brown in. Donnie Jones to hold. It's going to be a 39-yard field goal attempt. He hit a 32-yarder earlier in the game. 1:38 to go in the 1st quarter. And he had a tough time getting the ball down, but the kick is up and it's good. Great job by the punter turned holder, Donnie Jones, as he had trouble with the snap but got it down. And then Josh Brown connected on a 39-yard field goal. And now the Rams lead 13-0 over the Browns. And I think Steve Spagnuolo is complaining about the lack of a flag thrown on TJ Ward.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I do think it was pretty good coverage by TJ Ward there. It was so underthrown by Bradford that it actually hit Ward in the back.
So he has a chance to visit with Walt Anderson, the referee over on the sideline. Spagnuolo went through a tough year last year, and the field goal is set up on a Josh Cribbs fumble on a punt return. He fielded the ball inside his 10 and then got raked out of there by Larry Grant, and the Browns could not recover the ball. It was recovered by Chris Massey, the long snapper, and then the Rams couldn't really move it at all and settled for a field goal and now lead 13-0. They have a touchdown and 2 field goals from that man, Josh Brown. And the rain really coming down at Brown Stadium. There's Joe Hayden. He'll return, and he catches at his 8-yard line. And he gets knocked down and picked off at the 23. Down there on the tackle is Dominique Curry, a wide receiver, as he gets down there. Also getting down there is Chamberlain, the linebacker for the Rams, Chris Chamberlain. And it will be 1st and 10 now for the Browns out at their 23-yard line. And they have not been able to generate anything. They haven't been able to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, the antithesis of last week, not looking in sync offensively here in the 1st half. Obviously, the weather has a lot to do with it. Here's some of the motions and shifts that we were looking to see if the weather wasn't so inclement.
Evan Moore and Ben Watson, 2 tight ends in the game. They were the guys shifting there. And on 1st down, here's Delhomme throwing, and it's caught. Benjamin Watson out to the 32, out to the 33, and brought down. Tugway, the safety, comes over to make the tackle. He is up near a 1st down. Gain of 9, and it will be 2nd down and 1.
Nice job by Jake Delhomme. You see the motions and shift package here showed a little bit of confusion in the secondary of the Rams, able to get Ben Watson open in the flat.
2nd down and 1. Running back is Harrison. Delhomme to Harrison. That's going to be a 1st down as he is wrapped up and brought down by Niall Diggs at the 35-yard line, and that's the Browns' first down of the game. 40 seconds and the clock running here in the first quarter as Harrison heads off the field, and the Browns have their first down now out at their own 35-yard line. Peyton Hillis will line up in the shotgun along with Jake Delhomme. They bring Cribbs in motion. He'll go to the top of your screen on first down. 17 seconds left in the first quarter. All Rams. 13-0. Delhomme, a good amount of time. Floats the ball wide open. Stuckey. Down to the 40 and down inside the 40 near the 36-yard line of the Rams. Wow, was that wide open for 29.
Fantastic job of pass protection by the O-line. Man coverage. Stuckey gets caught up in the confusion. His little pick play in the middle of the field. He comes out the other end on a drag route.
Well, it was 29 yards, and I don't think he got touched until 28 of the 29 were covered. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter here at Brown Stadium. Well, the Browns had turnover problems, and the Rams took advantage of that. And at the end of the first quarter here at Brown Stadium, the score, the St. Louis Rams 13 and the Browns nothing. From Brown Stadium, we'll return with more action after this. Now, ticket representatives are standing by. They'll be available through the end of tonight's game. Call 440-824-3434 to purchase a full season ticket package or build your own ticket plan with the Browns Trips Pack. That's 440-824-3434. Here we go. First play inside St. Louis territory tonight from the Rams' 36-yard line. St. Louis leads 13-0. Jake Delhomme still in at quarterback. First down, Peyton Hillis hit off a tackle, off another tackle. Look at him run. Going to get help from the Browns offensive line. They're going to pull him to a first down, I believe. How about that? Peyton Hillis, he just rubbed off laryngitis and Diggs and wouldn't go down.
And didn't go down. I think he made himself a charter member of the dog pound with that good tough run. He's been doing that a lot throughout training camp. It's nice to see him doing it in live action.
Well, he went through all the Buckeye linebackers there. They all had a crack at him. So they're going to give him 9 on the play. Second down and 1. The ball is out at the 27.
This is our second and short situation. I really like to take a chance. This is a good chance here to take a
You always want to take a chance. Why not?
We
Take
got
a chance.
bump coverage out there.
And they're going to give it to Hillis, and he rubs his way down and fights, and he might just have squeezed out the first down. In on the tackle for the Rams, getting in there was Gary Gibson, a defensive lineman, gets over. And Hillis is close and gets the first down. The Browns' second first down of the game. Now the Browns turned it over a couple of times, and St. Louis turned that into 2 field goals. So there's a look at what happened in the first quarter of play. Not pretty on the Cleveland side of things. Stuckey comes in motion. Evan Moore goes out wide, and Delhomme will shift into the shotgun with Hillis. First and 10 at the St. Louis 26-yard line. Delhomme's got it. Good protection in the flat. Here's Hillis, but he's got all kinds of Rams, but he bounces off them again. Larry Grant can't get him down. And Otugwe makes the tackle along with Fred Robbins down the field inside the 25 at the 23. Second and 7.
Quickly becoming a fan favorite with his good tough running. Breaks another tackle to get a few yards on the play.
Second down and 7 will be the situation for the Browns at the St. Louis 23. There's Peyton Hillis. That earns you playing time. He's still in the backfield.
This formation is causing St. Louis some problems with Evan Moore flexed out wide to the bottom of your screen.
Moore, the tight end, who had a great start to his preseason last week in Green Bay. Here's Delhomme throwing, Cribbs catching, and he got off one hit, but not the next one. As Craig Dahl, the safety, will get him, but blowing through to make the first hit was cornerback Ron Bartel. And they'll lose yardage now back near the 28-yard line, and it becomes third down. They'll need 11.
There's a new formation that the Browns have been working on throughout training camp. The 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, where Evan Moore flanks out wide like a wide receiver.
Well, this will not be good news for the Rams, as Ron Bartel, one of their starting cornerbacks, and maybe their best cornerback, is down injured. We'll take a timeout from Brown Stadium. Second quarter, it's 13-0 Rams. They'll take on the Lions. Our pregame show starts at 4:30. We'll kick off at 5 o'clock. So that will be a 5 o'clock kickoff. The Browns and Lions next Saturday, only on Channel 3. Jim Donovan, Bernie Kosar back with you at Brown Stadium. 13-0 St. Louis leading in the rain. The Browns have it third down and 11 at the St. Louis 28-yard line. Jake Delhomme with Peyton Hillis in the shotgun with him.
Boy, Jake Delhomme sees he's going to have the middle field open. All-out blitz coming.
Can he get rid of the ball and beat the blitz? Blitz coming, little rollout to the right, gave it to Hillis out at the 25, 20, bangs down short of the first down at the 19-yard line. Peyton Hillis has done a good job, but the Browns are short as he got 9 and they need 3. Fourth down and 3.
Nice job reading the blitz, gets it out quick to Hillis. May see us go for it here.
Chamberlain and Antoine Thompson brought him down. It's fourth down. They need 3. They're at the 19-yard line. They need to get to the 16, and they'll go for it. Remember, Delhomme connected on a pass to Massaquoi last Saturday night on a fourth down. Hillis in the backfield. Delhomme's got it. Looking outside. Caught. Cribbs got it. He's got it down to the 10. It will be first down and goal. He worked on Antoine Thompson and got it.
Good job of throwing the quick out here on 4th and 3. In these conditions, defensive back kind of loses his footing a little bit. Josh Cribbs does a really nice job of pushing off and not getting called with it.
First and goal down at the 10-yard line. Thompson checks out of the game. The defensive back runs off the field late. Delhomme's got Hillis tailback, Vickers fullback. Rubisky at the bottom of your screen, Cribbs up at the top. It's Hillis. Hillis runs and got nailed inside the 10-yard line, down near the 6. Marquise Johnson, I'll tell you what, you get a defensive player that played for Nick Saban, he hits. And that's that kid out of Alabama.
Yeah,
wow.
Nice hit by the cornerback in cover 2. Wide receiver needs to make a decision. Does he block the corner out there and force or go up to the safety? Went up for the safety and left him open to crush the tailback.
This is the 11th play of the drive. Second and goal at the St. Louis 7-yard line. Delhomme.
Just going to rush 4 here.
He's back into the end zone. Watson's there. A one-handed catch. They say he's out of bounds. Oh, Benjamin Watson on the back line of the end zone. A one-handed grab, but he did not have two.
Foot down.
Oh,
It's
I don't know.
close.
Did he or did he not? Very close. No challenge yet from the Browns. And it's 3rd and goal. Eric Mangini walking out. He's got the red flag. He'll challenge.
You know, looking at it a second time, that's a lot closer than the ref, I think, would like it. If he deemed he had possession of the ball, I think Ben Watson did drag his foot.
Benjamin Watson with a great one-handed catch. So we'll take a look at it, they'll take a look at it, and we'll come back and see if the Browns get a touchdown. The Rams lead 13-0. Caught the ball with 2 feet in, and did he have possession in the end zone? Bernie?
I think if he deemed he had possession there, he did drag the second foot, even though he was getting forced out and pushed. That's a fantastic job of hand-eye coordination.
All right, but wait a minute, that back leg, oh no, I think it's down. You're right. Right there. That's a good look right there. I thought that one leg was elevated and he never got it down.
You know, the new field turf does a good job of actually highlighting the play. You could see the grass being kicked up behind him.
All right, the decision has been made. Walt Anderson is the referee. Eric Mangini took a long time. He checked with his coaches who are upstairs. They got the replay, and now here's the call on the challenge. And it's a touchdown. Let me read his lips for you and enunciate that it's a touchdown. Benjamin Watson, his 2nd of the preseason, but that's a highlight filmmaker there. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass, Delhomme to Watson.
The coaches have been raving about Ben Watson's work ethic and hands and still speed at his age with all his years in the league, still getting down the field. He made a fantastic shake route down the middle of 2 deep last week. This catch was even better, especially given the circumstances with the rain.
So that makes it 13-6. Jake Delhomme talking things over with Eric Mangini. Last week's hero, Phil Dawson, for the extra point. Hodges holds, kick.
Well, the man genius trying to win over the Cleveland fan base after some rough moments last year. Goes for it on 4th down. Then hearing the crowd beg for the challenge, does so, and they end up with a touchdown.
Well, Cleveland needs some good things to happen. You got Art Mordell, you got LeBron James, and you need the Browns to bring back some excitement to the city.
Phil Dawson tacks on the extra point. Cleveland's first touchdown. We've got a rain and a replays, and now a 13-7 ball game. Midway through the 2nd quarter, the Rams on top. 13-7, the Rams on top. Jake Delhomme to Benjamin Watson, a touchdown for Cleveland to get them on the board. Both teams trying to improve on their offensive output. Cleveland 32nd a year ago in total offense. The Rams were 32nd in points per game. Back down to Mo Drummond with an injury update. Mo?
Yeah, it looks like Ron Bartell had a stinger in that neck, Martin. He should be fine for the rest of this half.
So Ron Bartell, be nice if he's able to return, because Bradley Fletcher, 2nd-year player, was out injured last year. They don't want to extend his playing time tonight. And a number of players not even on the trip. Kevin Dockery, Kevin Payne, so the secondary is already lean. Amendola from the 1, out beyond the 20.
Looks like Cleveland has gotten some life.
And the city wanting to believe that the Browns are on the right path. They won their last 4 games. They were 1-11, just like the Rams. And then rattled off their last 4 games, ending the season 5-11. Perhaps helping Mangini keep his job with Mike Holmgren looking over his shoulder, but right now it's working. Said to be a good tandem. A lot of people suspected, well, Holmgren one day will just return to the sidelines. For now, he's more of an advisor for Mangini.
Well, Holmgren has been around a tremendous amount of success. Mangini, still being a young coach, he needs that balance of an experienced head coach, and that's what Mike Holmgren brings to the Cleveland Browns.
Neutral zone infraction, number 67, defense. Moving into the neutral zone, causing an immediate reaction by the offensive player. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Derek Robinson among those, a little too antsy. Matt Roth. All of them want to get a piece of the Heisman winner. They want to get after the top pick. So 1st and 5 for Bradford of the Rams.
Bradford in the shotgun.
Inside handoff to Obadiah. Seeing Jordan Kent get some time at receiver. Avery and Amendola out there. You know, Jason Brown started last week at guard. Went back to center when Bradford came in. He is the Rams center. They just wanted to get him some reps at right guard. Fraley started a week ago at center. He is more of a backup. Adam Goldberg's your right guard, and Jacob Bell, the Cleveland native. Cleveland native healthy tonight and starting at left guard.
They look right now like a totally different team running the ball when Steven Jackson is not in there.
Bradford dances out of trouble. Ho-Ho Manawanui, the rookie, on the catch, but we've got a flag.
We got a flag. We got holding. They'll call it back.
Holding, number 60, offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
So as we mentioned, Jason Brown, your starting center. The referees also mentioned Brown with the hold.
Jason's being pushed back. He's trying to protect his quarterback, but you could tell Bradford having good feet inside the pocket.
First penalty for the Rams. That's a good sign.
But Sam Bradford showed a good pocket presence, not bailing out of there, staying in the pocket, still attempting to deliver the ball.
The nose tackle, Otava Rubin, up the middle, and Brown grabbed him. And a sweep to Obadiah. And that'll bring a 3rd and long. Steven Jackson on the field tonight. Some early action. His night is done, but the search for a number 2 continues. Chris Obadiah, for now, is your number 2 running back. But you need more production, whether it's Obadiah or Darby or perhaps the rookie Tostin. I mean, that's alarming when you go from Jackson, the workhorse, and the drop-off is that significant.
Somebody has to take the bull by the horn and say, I will deliver, being the backup of Steven Jackson. It hasn't happened yet.
Bradford over the middle to Obadiah. And that'll bring on Donnie Jones to punt.
Conservative play.
And I wonder if the weather, how much the weather affects play calling tonight, or at some point you just let it rip and call whatever you want to call.
It impacts it somewhat, but there still should be opportunities to take shots down the field, and the Rams have not done that yet.
Cindric Steptoe back to return for Cleveland. And Steptoe stepping to it from the 33. Kenneth Darby, Chris Massey in on the tackle.
The Rams have shown that their special teams has come to play.
Some good coverage so far. Our coverage continues. It's Rams football right here on the home of the Rams, Fox 2.
It's good to see Ron Bartell back in the game. He needs to stay healthy to give Coach Spagnuolo the comfort at that left corner position. Jake Delhomme has had a successful day, 7 for 7 on one drive, and he seems to be hitting open guys. The Rams have to be more aggressive in the secondary, sticking to the receivers.
Cleveland's last drive covering 77 yards. Winds up in the end zone. And starting unit on defense still on the field. And again, Watson with great hands. Well, tight end you can count on is a quarterback's best friend. And I know Bradford would love to develop some rapport, whether it's Fells or one of the rookies.
The tight end position has been a position that has hurt this Rams defense. Whether the safety or the linebacker cover, they have to do a better job covering the tight end.
Delhomme having a big night. And you don't want to see big numbers like that again. Last week, Sage Rosenfeld had a field day. So punt fake and then the release to Harrison. Rams running after Jerome Harrison. He's still going. Larry Grant goes for the ball, eventually pushes him out inside the Rams 25.
Screen plays are all about recognition. When you have a young team, they don't recognize what's happening to them. And you see guys rushing up the field when the linemen are baiting them to get up the field. You have the linemen, they're getting upfield. Chris Long has to recognize when that tackle is letting him be the aggressor.
31-yard gain.
It's called recognition.
We'll give it to the fullback, Hillis again. Laurinaitis takes him down. Laurinaitis and his Buckeye teammates back in Ohio here tonight. A lot of Ohio State fans obviously here in the Cleveland area. Hotel lobby last night. A lot of fans wearing Buckeye gear looking for autographs.
A lot.
Niall Diggs, Laurinaitis, and Grant, your starters. Bobby Carpenter seeing time last week as a rush end. They may try that again tonight. Maybe utilize his speed.
Jake Delhomme always plays better when he feels comfortable in the pocket.
Looking for Robisky. A couple of receivers were in the area.
Robisky came open late. It's your typical route. Number 2 slot receiver is running the corner route. And here he is. He was open.
That ends a streak for Delhomme. He was 8 for his last 8. And Robisky yet again mentioning the Buckeyes here. Last year's second-round pick was open in the end zone. Browns 0 for 4 on third down tonight. And Delhomme's going to call timeout, facing a 3rd and long.
The Rams have to find a way to get pressure on Delhomme. He's very comfortable tonight. And when he's comfortable, he's delivering the ball. It's like 7-on-7. They have to get pressure on the quarterback.
Well, we've seen a lot of Jake Delhomme over the years in his days with Carolina. Up and down ride with the Panthers. Took him to a Super Bowl, became a Pro Bowler, started to throw a lot of picks late, and now trying to revive the career here in Cleveland. St. Louis, wake up with Fox 2 News in the morning. Marge Yellowsor, Kevin Steincross, John Pertzborn, Randy Naughton, covering all the latest news. Glenn Zimmerman prepares you with your morning weather forecast. Monica Adams on that mega map, helping you steer clear of traffic. Wake up to Fox 2 News in the morning coverage you can count on.
The Rams need to find a way to make a play. Cleveland's had a couple sustained drives that wears down your defense. Delhomme still in the shotgun. He's recognizing coverages, making calls, checking off.
Rams trying to get after Delhomme. He's got some time. Finds Stuckey short of the first down marker. Marquise Johnson able to stick with Stuckey. And again on a 4th down, feels like they may go.
Marquise is doing a better job of staying with the receivers this week. He's making the tackles. Last week he missed a few. He's doing a better job of tackling this week. Cleveland showing a lot of boldness, or we may say a lack of respect for the defense. A couple of 4th down tries.
4th and 3. And Delhomme hands it off to fullback Hillis. Stops short. So bold maybe in going for it, although it is the preseason, but not the most creative call. Handing it off and going up the middle.
That's what you want, your defense to respond. If a team is going to continue to show you no respect and go for it on 4th down, here's the replay. Anytime you get those guys with pressure in the backfield, number 94, stalemate with his guy and coming off, shedding the block and making a tackle.
Yeah, Big Vic, Victor Adeyanju, valuable member of that D-line, plays the end, plays the middle. And a chance for Bradford to put together a nice long drive. Rams are pinned deep here. Offense has been a little quiet since that opening drive with A.J. Feely. Kent, Amendola, and Avery, your wide receivers. And Obadiah stuffed in the backfield. There's nothing there. Derek Robinson, Eric Wright teaming up on the tackle.
Here's the replay. Still looks like a different team when Steven Jackson is not in there. The whole confidence, their confidence looks totally different without Steven in there. They have to establish a backup guy.
But I'm not sure Jim Brown would have had many yards on that one. He didn't have a whole lot of help up front. So we talked a lot about the pass blocking. Need to see a little better of run blocking as well. Obadiah tripped up yet again. Eric Wright's been busy tonight. So it'll be a 3rd and long.
A couple of consecutive running plays. You want to establish some type of physical nature about your offense. Here it is again. You want the big guys coming off the ball. There's a stalemate there. And whenever there's a stalemate, there's no push. Typically, it's a successful play by the defense.
Well, I would like to see him throw towards the 1st down marker here. I know it's about managing the field a little bit, but I'd like to see him try and spread the field. I think Cleveland start to inch up a little more to that Rams O-line. And now a flag. A pre-snap penalty. A false start on the Rams. Ouch.
Looked like Jason Smith moved a little early.
Dr. Walt Anderson, the referee, with a microphone, cutting in, cutting out. We'll try and keep you up to date throughout. And now, maybe I'll amend my thoughts of throwing it deep. Maybe here just without clean, but they do line up with 3 wide.
You want to protect the ball here. The last thing you want is a turnover in this situation.
They keep it on the ground. Before that carry, Obadiah, 6 carries, -1. They just gave Donnie Jones a little room to work.
The encouraging thing you do see when they are passing the ball, the offensive line is giving Sam Bradford plenty of time to make decisions in the pocket. Unlike last week.
Yeah, for the most part, they've kept him clean. They just haven't been able to move the ball at all. Step toe deep once again for Cleveland.
Football is a game of field position. Cleveland should end up with good field position.
And that one off the end of Jones's foot. Step toe to the right sideline. And the rookie there to greet him, Dominic Curry.
Tackle on special teams.
42-yard punt, 16 on the return.
Looked like it was going to be a big play, but that was a good solid tackle. Buckle your chin strap, boys and girls. The Rams have some hitters.
Dominic Curry, the rookie receiver, trying to get noticed on special teams. But Cleveland with great field position. See if that Rams D can get Delhomme off the field.
Unusual to see wide receivers downfield on special teams sticking somebody, but it's good to see.
I don't remember Torrey or Isaac in coverage. Maybe early in their career.
They did a good job covering if Curry or Mark threw an interception.
Inside handoff to the fullback again. Larry Grant all over it.
That's what you have to do. You have to wrap up. Nice solid tackle, but he still wrapped up the ball carrier. When you get a fullback that big, the key is wrapping him up. He's not going to elude you.
Another timeout on the field.
Downhill, has to make the tackle, and he makes it. Good job.
It's the 2-minute warning. Cleveland with the ball, the Rams with the lead.
Back here in Cleveland, Ohio, the Rams right now have a 13-7 lead over the Cleveland Browns. Coming up at halftime, we're going to head back to our Fox 2 studios for a news update. We'll also have scores and highlights, and the guys went bowling this week. We'll show you how the Rams took a load off. We'll send it back to you guys.
Little sneak peek of the bowling. Nice and dry. Boy, Mo Drummond on the side. It's a glamorous life down there on the sideline. Soggy here tonight. We don't need a stinking dome. Not in Cleveland, you don't.
Not in the dog pound. The shores of Lake Erie. This is where football is supposed to be played. Jim Brown, baby. Natural grass.
They went 3 years without football. 96, 97, 98, and then the Browns Part 2 started up again in 99. So with 2 minutes to go, Delhomme and the Browns looking to take the lead.
Good opportunity for the Rams to work with their 2-minute defense.
Delhomme to Stuckey. He's going to win that foot race with the linebacker still spinning towards the 20.
If you're going to leave a linebacker on a wide receiver, you better get to the quarterback.
So how do we end up with the linebacker here on the receiver?
A typical crossing route, the linebacker has to get help if that receiver is going to come all the way across the field.
And then does a good job to get out of bounds. 18-yard gain.
Typically a safety if somebody rotates down to assist the linebacker in a coverage like that on a wide receiver.
Delhomme with a lot of time decides to just tuck it under and run, slides. Chris Chamberlain covers him up. Clock still ticking, but plenty of time here.
Too much time in the pocket. Anytime a quarterback has that amount of time, you can have Dick Night Train Lane at the cornerback position. It's difficult to cover.
Delhomme does a lot of barking at the line. Not quite the histrionics of Peyton Manning. Batted ball. Chris Long gets a piece of it. Sets up a 3rd down.
Awareness by Chris Long getting his hands up. He's the free rusher. He gets an opportunity to see the ball, gets his hands up.
Saw what Delhomme was going to do. Kind of a volleyball play there. Just kind of get up to the net and knock it down.
They have to find a way to get some pressure on Delhomme. He's sitting back in the pocket, picking them apart.
Yeah, as muddy as it is, we don't have a lot of dirty uniforms yet.
That may not be good. You want to see dirty uniforms.
Rams with the blitz. Ball batted. And that time they had pressure on Delhomme and did it with the blitz.
The next best thing, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up.
So Laurinaitis came up the middle.
If you can't get to him, get your hands up. That's the least you can do.
May have been Darrell Scott. Last year's 4th rounder out of Clemson. So Phil Dawson, his first attempt tonight. We'll call it a 38-yarder. And nearly blocked. Gets it off and squeezes it through. They get a 13-10 game, 10 unanswered for Cleveland. Somebody nearly blocked that kick. We'll take a closer look. Yeah, Quincy Butler off the edge, lays out.
Quincy Butler goes virtually untouched. He gets underneath the blocker's hand and extends himself out.
The former college quarterback, really an athletic guy. Last preseason, Butler made a ton of plays in order to make this team, and he's become more valuable with all the injuries in the secondary.
Well, with teams throwing the ball in the preseason, Guys like Butler have to take advantage of opportunities to make plays on balls. And the Rams did a decent job in their 2-minute defense.
Chance to see Marty Gilliard again in the return game. Had a nice punt return earlier.
When you look at Marty Gilliard, you just like his demeanor. He looks like he's going to do something and like he wants to be there. That's what you want to see in a young guy.
He's a lot of fun to be around. Got a lot of personality. Great story to tell about his time at Cincinnati. Left football for a while, came back.
That's what life is about, being resilient.
Gilliard puts the ball away. Was tripped up. Mike Adams got him. So we'll see what the Rams offense wants to do with just a minute left in the half.
Here's Gilliard. He's been having a secure catching the ball, which is very difficult when you have a cast on your left arm.
Had a wrist injury coming into camp, pre-existing, then injured the forearm during the scrimmage. Didn't play last week, but had some impressive catches, as mentioned, during the week in practice despite the cast.
He's going to have a discussion with his blockers. You can't have a guy coming free at your legs like that on special teams.
Trying to set up the screen. Browns have other ideas. Obadiah taken down in a heartbeat. Scott Fujita, veteran linebacker, sniffed that one out.
And that's the difference when you have veteran linebackers. They're not fooled by your screens. They typically, at the start of a 2-minute, there's either a screen or a draw play that starts it off. And they snuffed it out.
Darcy Johnson holds it in as the clock winds.
You want to see Sam leading the receiver a little more so he can continue to turn upfield and get another 2 or 3 yards. Kind of threw it just a little behind him on that play.
Rams call a timeout. Steve Spagnuolo rather animated, trying to get the referee's attention. Able to call the timeout. See what they can do with 27 seconds left. I love the view from the booth because it's easy to say it, but why not just launch one deep? I would think in the wet conditions, the receiver has the edge.
Well, he should have the edge. However, with Sam Bradford, I don't know how much he's going to play in the second half. You want him to methodically, as he goes back in the huddle, methodically take the team down in a 2-minute drill. This is good practice for him, gets a good game rep experience.
27 seconds left. Air it out. 3rd down and 8. Trying to find an open receiver, gets Jordan Kent. Be close to the 1st down marker. They may stop to measure.
It makes it a lot more difficult, even on that route, that reception. Here's the receiver. He has to get more separation. He did a good job of catching the ball, but he has to get more separation here away from the defensive back.
That's the top pick from Florida for Cleveland. 7th overall, Joe Hayden, rookie from Florida.
Joe Hayden did a good job being aggressive, staying with him, but the receiver has to be more aggressive in his route and give the quarterback space so you can make 1st downs like this.
The Rams will punt, and with 16 seconds left to go in the half, one of Steve Spagnuolo's goals was to win the half, and they're in position to do that.
Well, if it stays like this, he's won 2 quarters. He's hit at least 2 parts of his goal.
Jones gets it off and then gets run into, and that was flagged right away.
And that should be a 1st down, 4th and inches. Should be a 1st down here.
Yeah, this one's coming back for the Rams.
Five seconds, Martin, you might get your wish.
I still don't think we will, but we can hope. It appeared that Kaluka Maeva got a piece of Donnie Jones right as he comes down to land. Just enough to draw the yellow.
Just enough. Donnie did a little acting on that, but anytime you get guys exposed like that, you don't want them around their legs.
Looks like they may have picked up the flag. Not sure what that was.
Coach Spags right there, as you see him, even though they didn't do everything right, he should be happy because one of the goals that he talked about in our production meeting was winning each quarter. And right here, if they go into halftime 13-10, he's won 2 quarters, Martin.
But last week, the objective was win each quarter. They did that in the first, and then it went downhill. But we do have a touchdown on offense, a couple of turnovers created. And so now Delhomme, with 5 seconds left, he'll get to do the kneel down.
Discussion in the locker room during halftime, Coach Spagnuolo is probably going to talk about finding a way to get pressure on the quarterback.
Pressure on the quarterback, also trying to run the ball a little more, especially in the rain here. You'd like to see a running game established. But the Rams head to the locker room. They lead it 13-10. Touchdown tonight, A.J. Feely to Daniel Fells. So the Rams have the lead. As we hit the break, you're watching Rams football on your home of the Rams, Fox 2. The Brown fans dealing with the conditions and watching as the Rams lead 13-10 at the half. Mo Drummond downstairs checking in with the Rams head coach.
All right, Martin, thanks a lot. Here with the head coach, Steve Spagnuolo. Coach, last week, no offensive touchdowns, but you come back and establish a fine drive for 6.
Yeah, I thought the guys did a good job coming out early. We wanted to play strong early. They did that. I thought the offensive line did a nice job and finished with a touchdown.
You mentioned the offensive line. How was it to have that continuity back, your starters in the lineup for the first time, and having the big man, Steven Jackson, back there?
No, it's huge. I mean, when you combine the O-line getting together, and you have to have the running back helping you too, and Steven did that.
Two-prong question for the quarterback. A.J. Feely hurt. How is he right now?
His elbow's a little stiff. It's not. They went in X-rated. It's nothing major, but he's going to be a little bit sore. Sam was going in about that time anyway, and Sam will come out here for another series anyway, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks, and good luck in the second half.
Maurice.
Thank you, Coach. All right, Mark, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Coach. Here are your first half stats. Rams with the points off the turnovers. That has been helpful here. Offensively, though, big opening drive, 65 yards on the opening drive. A little tough sledding after that. Take a look back on this at the first half highlights. A.J. Feely, good opening drive.
He takes a hit early on and hurts his right arm. But he stands in the pocket, good shoulder pump, gets the ball to Fells. Good opening drive, scoring on the first opening drive.
Yeah, 10-play, 65-yard drive, and then Fred Robbins making plays tonight. A sack also there to recover a fumble. But Delhomme finding his tight end, Benjamin Watson. Watson with the one-hand grab. They had to review it upstairs. Craig Dahl riding him out of bounds. They reversed the call on the field after the Browns challenge and call it a touchdown.
Robbins got the sack early, but after that, the quarterback Delhomme has been comfortable in the pocket. They need to find a way in the second half to put more pressure on the quarterback.
Extended playing time tonight for Bradford, 6 of 12 in the first half. We did see Steven Jackson, 4 rushes, 20 yards. Billy Bajema has been the busiest receiver. Bajema 4 catches for 32. And we suspect we'll see Bradford again to open the second half.
And Bradford's receivers need to help him. They have to get off the press coverage, get some room between them and the defensive backs to give him a wider pocket to get the ball into.
And the rain that was supposed to stop at halftime has yet to subside. But the Rams will begin the half with the football.
Still, you see Sam Bradford, he's drying his hands off. Look like he's concerned a little bit about having wet hands. You definitely want to have dry hands because he had that bobble snap early on in the game. And the number one thing in inclement weather is ball security.
Well, I saw some of these Browns fans tailgating at about 1:30 this afternoon, a good 6 hours before kickoff. They always believe here in Cleveland, always waiting for that great moment where they'll win a championship. Basketball, baseball, football, the city has been waiting for a long time. Marty Gilliard, another chance at a kick return. Tucks it away, cuts middle, cuts right, beyond the 30. Gilliard getting a lot of work tonight in the return game, both kicks and punts.
He seems very comfortable catching the ball, but he's also a bold little guy running up and in there on kickoff coverage.
And the Rams starting offensive line back out there with Sam Bradford.
I'm quite sure Coach Spagnuolo wants to establish a good tempo with Sam in there, opening up the second half.
Kenneth Darby in at running back. Bradford to throw, ball's tipped. And another good development in the first half, just 2 penalties for the Rams. And in these conditions on the road, that's a positive.
That means the young guys are settling down, playing football, not making some of the mistakes that they made last week. We still want to see them establish a good running game.
And Darby getting his shot here in the second half. Burton and Kent in at receiver.
Here's Sam the man, a few of his throws. Gets the ball in there. You see him moving. His accurate skill outside the pocket is very good. The offensive line has given him the time this week, and it looked like when he gets the time, he's able to deliver the ball.
Yeah, we've seen better pass protection for Sam. We have a Brown who is down on the field. We'll take a quick break. It's third quarter action here on Fox. Early second half, the Rams on top 13-10. Martin Kilcoyne and E.S. Williams and the Rams Vice President Football Operations Kevin Demoff here in the booth with us. We'll talk a little bit about the state of the Rams as we watch Sam Bradford here on a 3rd and long as it continues to miss here in Cleveland. And looking for the rookie Gilliard, incomplete.
Sam gets the ball out of there a lot sooner than the receiver gets out his cuts. You have that happen in inclement weather like this. The time is off just a little.
So Donnie Jones back out to punt.
You can see Gilliard getting some instructions on the sideline. Young guys need a lot of instructions when they get in the game.
Cedric Steptoe to return the punt for Cleveland. And Steptoe has been busy in the return game. Calls for the fair catch at about the 23. And Cleveland will have the ball when we come back. We'll talk to Kevin. We'll talk some football live from Cleveland when we come back. The Browns bring in Seneca Wallace at quarterback, and we bring in Kevin Demoff here in the booth to talk a little Rams football. And I guess, Kevin, for Sam Bradford, another lesson tonight. Be ready at any time. A.J. Feely's night cut a little bit short, and Sam was thrown right in there.
I thought he did a good job coming in and handling the elements. Obviously, we haven't had a chance to practice in the rain at all, so it's the first time for the entire team to get in there, get a different tempo.
Yeah, coaches always talk about things that you can't practice, that you can't coach. And the elements like this, it may come into play later in the year. You never know. Wallace at quarterback. That's the big fullback, Hillis. Marquise Johnson there to greet him.
Marquise is doing an excellent job tackling. He's physical. As we know, last week he got a lot of work, but this week he's a sure tackler, and you want to see that in a young cornerback.
And Kevin, we've talked about it. There is some Bradford buzz, and beyond that, we don't want to put it all on his shoulders. There's some genuine excitement about where we're at in the rebuilding process.
Well, I think it's year 2 and everything's starting to come together. You can see the pieces, and Sam's a nice glue that kind of brings them together. But we have some young players who are doing well. There's some excitement around this team, and it's exciting for us to put it all together tonight in the first quarter and play well.
Wallace, the veteran from Iowa State, seen him in Seattle throughout his career. And for those who aren't around Bradford, though, you see it day in, day out, a guy who has that composure, that poise that we see on the field. You also see it off the field.
We see it every day, and I think the most amazing thing about Sam, we can gush about him, but we draft him. It's the players on our club. You read their quotes. You read what they say, what they tell us. They're genuinely excited to have him here. They believe in the young kid, and I think that will take us as far as we need to go. He needs the respect of the other 79 guys in the locker room right now than he needs any more accolades.
3rd and short for the Browns. Wallace always a threat to run the ball as well as throw it. Drops back, finds Pridge for the first down. Cleveland right around the 35, their own 35. And by this time next week, Kevin, we could have some resolve in terms of the ownership issue. Stan Kroenke, the vote next week in Atlanta. I guess all signs point to him moving forward, and perhaps Chip and Lucia being part of the transition. will that mean anything in terms of the football operations?
I don't think it will mean anything off the bat. You won't see anything changing. One of the nice things about this change of ownership, should it happen, is Stan's been in the room the last 2 years. He helped hire Steve Spagnuolo. He helped hire all the people here. He was here when we presented our football plan for this year in January, so he knows what's going on. He's bought in. He understands. It's not a newcomer coming in for the first time.
And Wallace over the middle to Robert Royal, the tight end. Wallace has the Browns in Rams territory.
We saw some of this last week. We can see on the replay. Seneca Waller has the time to throw the ball. You just have a tight end running down the seam. The Rams have to find a way to cover up the tight end.
Robert Royal, a veteran, 9th year out of LSU, former Redskin. Wallace last week in Green Bay, 4 completions, but 2 of those for touchdowns, part of that win in Green Bay. Steady diet of their fullback tonight, Hillis.
Hill has been able to break some tackles, and when the Rams have been successful, it's because not only they've hit him, but they've wrapped him up.
It appears now more of a blowing rain than anything. I called it a mist a while ago. I guess that's the view from the booth. They probably beg to differ down on the field. Johnson goes low again on Hillis. And Kevin Demoff with us here in the booth. And Kevin, with ticket sales too, we're seeing a little bit of the buzz, a little bit of people buying into where you guys are at.
You know, we've seen a steady, sales from the beginning of the year, from when we first announced that we were lowering ticket prices back in February, obviously with Sam. We've seen a steady pace of new season ticket sales picking up. We're still not where we want to be, or quite honestly where we need to be, but we're getting there. And I think once the town senses where we're headed and sees, us win a few games, we'll get to where we need to be.
I tell you what, Martin, I like what I see in Marquise Johnson. He's responded from last week's challenge. He's been excellent on the previous play, excellent open field tackle on number 40, the big bruising fullback. You like to see that a young guy, how he responds.
Wallace has the Browns on the move, threatening to either tie or take the lead. As the wind picks up here off the shores of Lake Erie, a nasty Cleveland night.
I don't know if we're in Cleveland or we're in Seattle.
It does kind of have that Quest Field feel. And Kevin, the easiest number, 314-RAMS-TIX, 314-RAMS-TIX. But also we've been able to share some of the features. There's a lot of great content on the website. Takes you kind of behind the scenes.
We have Keith Harris, our director of the websites, downstairs here, updating everything, so you can go during the game. You can turn on your TV. You're obviously watching it on Fox 2. You can log on to stlouisrams.com and follow the action there. But we really try to improve the website. A lot of new video features, a lot of new content this year, so people can follow us 365 days a year on the web.
This has to be the most work that Hillis has ever had. The fullback, part of the Brady Quinn trade, came over from Denver.
Well, he's showing a lot of moxie. You can see he seemed to be a crowd favorite. He's flexed his muscles today. It's time for the Rams to do some game tackling and make sure they put a muzzle on him.
And Eric Mangini may remind him, okay, don't expect this ever again.
Well, this is where you make your name for yourself in the preseason. You get a chance when you get opportunities, and if you have a coach that's going to feed you the ball, you take your opportunities and you do something with them.
So on a second down here, Wallace with his starting receivers. Robisky to the top of your screen. Plenty of time for Wallace. Stays in the pocket, releases. Incomplete. Nearly picked off. Maybe a sliding grab there. That may have been Brett Johnson. Just signed this week.
Still good coverage here. He stumbles, but he still maintains his outside leverage, and that's what makes the difference when you're covering a receiver. You want to maintain your outside leverage. That always gives you an opportunity to see the ball.
Quincy Butler in coverage. Third down for the Browns. They line up 4 wide.
They can't run by you in the red zone, so you want to be aggressive when you have the opportunity to be aggressive.
Wallace looking end zone. Touchdown after the push-off.
Looked like an obvious push-off, but they're in Cleveland Stadium, the dog pound. They gave him a favorable non-call on that particular play. Looked like an obvious push-off to me.
Yeah, Cribbs on the reception, but it seemed blatant moments before that. The push-off led to the reception.
You can see here he got his hands on him. He did push off, but when you're in position like that, Martin, you want to get your head around. That's what young corners will find out. When you're in position and you're right next to the receiver, you want to get the head around because that's a possible interception.
Browns take the lead, and Phil Dawson tacks on the extra point. And Kevin says, well, I'm never coming up to the booth again. Kevin, we appreciate you stopping by, and we encourage everybody to call 314-RAMS-TIPS. The Rams will have the ball when we return right here on Fox 2. So Joshua Cribbs, the touchdown. And we mentioned earlier, he's an emerging receiving threat for them. The Pro Bowl return man. Mangini likes him a lot as a threat at receiver. We've seen some guys try it. Devin Hester doesn't always work out. But Cribbs may be a big part of this Cleveland offense as Gilliard returns it from the 10. Got some speed. You can see that.
I still like what we see in Gilliard. He seems to not only be a sure guy as far as feeling the play, but he also does a good job of hitting the hole. He's a tough kid.
So Keith Knoll heads in at quarterback. Sam Bradford's night is done. Keith Knoll expected to be followed by Thaddeus Lewis in the rotation here tonight.
I still like to see the Rams establish some type of running game with the backup running back.
Bradford's not in, 6 of 14. Rams do keep it on the ground. Darby.
And this is where vision comes in. I think if we're able to see a replay on this, you'll see Darby, if he has a little vision, there was a hole that opened up for him. That's where vision comes in once you're in between the tackles.
Second string O-line now working with Knoll and Darby.
You can't see it on that replay, but there was a slight hole, but you have to have that vision to get to it because it closes fast.
Darby, the second leading rusher last year, but about 1,250 less than Steven Jackson.
Here he attempts to cut back. That hesitation, he has to go. He has to go. Any hesitation, the hole closes. So we can see, Martin, it's not all offensive line. When guys have opportunity like Darby, he has to hit the hole, and that's what the coaches probably going to point out to him in the film this week.
Yeah, about a split second there. Got to make the decision. And as you pointed out, there was an opening. So now third down and about 3 for Knoll and the Rams. And Gilliard has it in and out of his hands.
Gilliard has to make that play.
And even with the starters out of the lineup, you'd like to see a strong finish to this game. The Rams' early lead is given away in Cleveland with 17 unanswered.
Gilliard is the type of guy, if he makes the play, sometimes with guys that are very good in open field, they have a tendency to think about making a move before they secure the catch first. And it looks like that's what he did on that particular play. You can't score a touchdown without the ball. It's a good punt.
Yeah, Jones gets into this one, step toe, going backwards. Good coverage once again. Fendi Anabon, the first one there. And the tight end making some plays on special teams. Their 49-yard punt by Jones. Seneca Wallace and the Browns are pinned deep. We'll see if the Rams D can make a play when we come back. 13-13, mid-third quarter. Downstairs to Maurice Drummond. Mo.
All right, Martin, thanks a lot. Here with the Rams running back, Steven Jackson. Steven, you got a chance to get out there with that first team and that offensive line for the first time together. How was it just to finally get a little continuity going out there?
Felt really good. You know, I think that first drive we came out, we showed the explosiveness of the offense. You know, we were able to run the ball, pass the ball, move the ball pretty fluid down the field. Especially in these wet conditions, we were able to take care of the ball as well.
You're out there, and a lot of people have been concerned about you and the back situation. How is the back, and have you been able to stay on the schedule that you wanted to be ready for opening day?
Yeah, I'm fine. You know, You know, one thing about this organization and myself, you know, we were pretty consistent and persistent on making sure that I was doing the right things and going in the right direction with the back. The back is not an issue. It's not going to be a problem. And, you know, we're looking forward to the 2010 season.
And as you come out the game, I think a lot of people are also watching that running back backup battle. What do you see from these guys as a battle for number 2?
Well, you know, Chris overnight has been in there pretty much the rest of the game after I came out, but now Kenneth Darby's getting ready to go in. And, you know, we have a lot of versatility back there. You know, a lot of change of pace, guys that are smaller than me, but a little bit more shifty than I am. So it'll be an interesting battle, but I think everyone's doing a great job, and it's been competitive, and we still have 2 more weeks of to see who's going to win that backup job.
As a veteran, as you look back and you see the drafting of Sam Bradford, some young guys in this team, as a veteran, what do you see? What do your eyes see from what's going on right now with this organization?
Well, you know, like you said, we're a young team right now, and, you know, a lot of guys are not knowing really what to expect in the National Football League, so you got to kind of just show them the way. But the one thing I can say in this locker room, we have a lot of hard workers and guys that's buying into what Coach Spagnuolo is trying to teach us. You know, we're not that far away, especially in the NFC West. I hate to keep saying that, but I'm really, really looking forward to the 2010 season and see what we can do.
Thanks a lot, and see you out there. Thank you. All right, Martin, I'll send it back to you and Aeneas.
All right, thanks, Maurice. Thanks to Steven Jackson. Evan Moore, the reception. Seneca Wallace over the middle. First down for Cleveland, and a Ram player is down on the field.
Got a Ram down. You're still seeing tight ends open in the center of the field. Here it is. When you have zone concept, your linebackers have to rotate and cover up tight ends in the middle of the field. There's a Ram down.
Yeah, Victor Adeanju on the turf. Wallace hit the big tight end, Evan Moore. I guess it's rare when it's not a big tight end, but he is 6'6" from Stanford.
Until the Rams show that they can stop the tight end, they're going to see a lot of action by tight ends throughout the season.
Yeah, we've seen that here tonight. We'll check on Victor when we come back. Adeanju able to walk off on his own. Boy, it looked bad. You watch the replay, trying to get after Seneca Wallace, and gets twisted around, and his own guy kind of takes out his knee.
That's a classic example of both the rush ends meeting at the quarterback. Just this case, it was unfortunate.
But he did get up and walk off on his own, so that's good. Most significant injury tonight so far that we know of, A.J. Feely with a thumb injury in the first half. James Davis, the backup running back in Cleveland, getting some work here tonight. Seneca Wallace, the backup to Delhomme, but they'll use him at times, especially with a guy like Cribbs, if they want to get cute and do the Wildcat during the season. Maybe line him up at receiver, take Delhomme out for a play or two. It gives you a couple of new wrinkles, and everybody in the league is kind of searching for that creative package.
When he came over with Mike Holmgren, he'd bring that spirit that Mike had out in Seattle to this team, and I think that's what he wanted to do, Coach Holmgren, to get more of his flavor within this team.
Cleveland dominating in yardage since the first quarter. 2:05 for the Browns on offense. And Wallace will just throw it away. Backed up Matt Hasselbeck for years. A couple of times was able to fill in when Hasselbeck was injured. But they have completely overhauled the quarterback position here. Brady Quinn was going to be the next great thing here in Cleveland. An Ohio guy, really looked the part. He and Derek Anderson kind of split time, and we'll see Derek Anderson now. He's in Arizona.
It looked like with Derek Anderson, Pro Bowl year, and from there it went downhill fast for him.
3rd and 8 for Wallace. Steps up in the pocket, finds the back, and Davis able to find the first down.
In zone concept, this is what we've been seeing. We've been seeing guys open in the underneath coverage. But still, there's no pressure on the quarterback, Mark. When there's no pressure on the quarterback, in zones, guys can get open because they have time.
10-yard gain on the short toss. First down, Cleveland. Browns able to do what the Rams offense has not since very early in this game, and that is move the sticks. If you're wondering defensively for the Rams, a couple of the young linemen are not here tonight. Eugene Sims, George Selvey, who had some great moments against the Vikings. Selvey, leg injury this week. He's not on the field. There's the scrum on the line. Cleveland may be content to do even a little more running here with a lead, with the rain. Chris Jennings in it running back. Maybe a delay of game. They blow the whistle, no flag.
Past few plays, David Vabora has been pretty active with the linebackers.
Timeout on the field. Cleveland trying to get back to the postseason, their last playoff trip after the 2002 season. Rams haven't been there since 2004. We mentioned Mike Holmgren coming in from Seattle as president. He's still very present at practice, but it's also worth noting he hired Tom Heckert to be the general manager, so he really is just an overseer of things. You look at the number of departures, even a Braylon Edwards who was traded to the Jets earlier in the year, Jamal Lewis, and in with the new blood. We may see Colt McCoy later in this game, the rookie from Texas. Hand injury last week, but he was expected to play here tonight.
Well, when Michael Holmgren comes over, he's rebuilt several franchises, Green Bay as well as Seattle. He knows how to do it. Sack.
Hall Davis.
Hall Davis, that's what you want to see, pressure on the quarterback. This is when they need an outside presence. Here's the replay. See Hall Davis. Good move on the tight end. Pursues the quarterback. Good job. But you also have to give the front side coverage guys an opportunity. It causes Seneca Wallace to pull on the ball. That gives you pressure time to get there.
We mentioned the young defensive lineman not here tonight. Hall Davis is. 5th-round pick from Louisiana Lafayette. Gets himself a sack. 3rd and long for the Browns.
Quite sure he would have wanted to get that sack on his fellow alum, Jake Delhomme.
A little Cajun on Cajun crime. Wallace tucks it in. He can run. He's got the 1st down and a little more. He's always a threat with his feet.
And this one you see, here's the replay. Seneca has the middle wide open. And when you have a mobile quarterback and you give him the center of the field, it's almost like a given.
Yeah, and on a 3rd and 15, that's a killer. He gets 16 on the run.
You have to know who's in the game. You have to know that Seneca Wallace is a quarterback that can get a 1st down with his legs.
Wallace with those 2 touchdown throws last week. 14 career starts in Seattle.
This one you start seeing a difference. You see a veteran quarterback in with young guys with the Rams. Advantage should be Cleveland, but we'll see if some of the young guys step up.
And we saw it last week. Rosenfels, also an Iowa State alum, able to pick apart the secondary. But for a guy like Marquise Johnson, rookie from Alabama, the coaching staff now looking to see how he handles adversity.
I like what I've seen out of Marquise Johnson. As we said last week, we saw him being picked on, thrown at, but I saw hard tackling, and also he had a pass defense early in the game. That's what you want to see, but that's what I expect from a guy that was coached by Nick Saban at Alabama.
Yeah, 7th-round pick, but he did play at Alabama, national champions last year, so he's played big-time football before.
The one thing I'm hearing about Nick Saban's programs, wherever he's been, typically his defensive backs come out ready to play in the NFL.
And he's always warm and fuzzy. Count on a lot of love when you're around Nick Saban. Wallace letting it fly downfield.
Interception. Great play. That's what you want to see. Cornerbacks, get your head turned around, make a play on the ball. Whenever you're close to a receiver, that gives you the green light to get your head around, and you become the receiver, and that's what you saw.
And Quincy Butler had it sniffed out. Good coverage, good catch.
That's what you want to see by the defensive backs. Not only good coverage, but make the play.
And Butler is a guy who always seems to be around the ball.
Well, you want to see young guys with ball skills, and that's what he showed. It's not enough just to get PBU. Some cornerbacks just, I knocked it down, they think it was a successful play. Make the pick.
Well, that's one way to stop Seneca Wallace, one way to stop the Browns from moving the football. So let's see if Keith Knoll can answer. Incomplete. Browns acting as if the ball was knocked loose.
Incomplete pass.
Yeah, but you know when you're a DB, you pick it up and run just in case.
We're taught, one, if we're not sure, it doesn't matter, pick it up. Here's a replay. You just have a bunch route. Wide receiver sits down. He's supposed to be open. Ball should be hit right now. That ball was thrown late, low to the ground. Receiver was open on that play.
Brandon McDonald, the one who scooped it up and tried to sell it to the refs.
Defensive players are taught, regardless, pick it up, run with it, let the referees decide.
2nd and 10, Rams will keep it on the ground. The Browns, similar to the Rams, in year 2 of a rebuilding effort, although Holmgren comes in. They really started last year with Mangini, getting rid of players over the last couple of years, top picks who just didn't fit in for whatever reason, whether it was Kellen Winslow, Braylon Edwards, trying to do it with Mangini's guys. And if you go through their roster, a ton of former Jets are here, and that includes guys who were in the Edwards trade, but also Mangini just comfortable with some of his own guys. That's not all that rare, but there are so many Jets, it stands out.
Well, it's typical, particularly when you get a coach like Rex Ryan with the Jets who brought his own guys in. There were a lot of guys still available to help Mangini implement a system here in Cleveland.
And Rex's twin brother, Rob Ryan, is the defensive coordinator here with the Browns. Your former coach, and there you take a look at Rex's brother. Rex Ryan makes a headline every single day. My question, is Rob Ryan just as colorful?
He's just as colorful, just as animated as you see him right now. And with the Raiders, he let his hair grow out, but both of them were twin brothers on the staff with Buddy Ryan for 2 years out in Arizona. But under Rob Ryan, I made my first Pro Bowl. He was the first coach to come in and told me, my 4th year in the league, you can lead this league in interception, and I did that year with 9.
And if he were mic'd up tonight, would Tony Dungy be calling us?
Tony would be calling it, but I can tell you this, they may have colorful language.
Ball's loose.
Ball's loose. Rams have the ball.
Obadiah in coverage on the tackle and on the forced fumble.
Yeah, Coach Dungy may not say anything, but these guys are good coaches. That's the good thing. Maybe a little colorful with the language, but they know the game. Their dad, Buddy Ryan, taught them the game, and they were involved as kids. Here's the replay. Good solid tackle. Good wrap-up tackle. Excellent tackle.
Well, Obadiah was there first, and then Josh Hull, the rookie from Penn State, knocked it loose. So good combo there between Obadiah and Hull.
Well, Obadiah is not doing a great job running the ball. One of the things he could do is show himself, show his presence on special teams. He did on that play.
Rams winning the turnover battle. That's now 4 tonight. And in spite of the rain, they've done a good job holding on to the ball. No turnovers for the Rams. Now need to convert off the turnover.
Four turnovers, Martin. That should give you an advantage as a team. Typically, you get 4, you win the game.
Off the first 2 turnovers in the first half, they picked up 2 field goals.
Provided you don't give it back to them.
Seeing number 38, Keith Toston, into the game at a running back, rookie from Oklahoma State. Undrafted. He was first team All Big 12. I think they're intrigued by what he could do. Give him a chance to maybe make the roster.
They've seen Obadiah, and now they want to give Toston an opportunity. They seem to be excited about what they see in the camp with him.
Once again, the ball on the ground. Referees saying Toston was down. Okie, we're at the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll continue the thought, continue the game as the rain continues as well. We're at Cleveland Browns Stadium here in Ohio. Browns lead it 17-13. Answered by the Browns after the Rams built that 13-0 lead in the first quarter. Your statistics through 3 quarters. I'll borrow your telestrator there, Mr. Williams. Right there, 108 total yards through 3 quarters. A week ago against Minnesota, just 150. So offensively, you're going to need to put up more points, more yardage. They have done a good job creating turnovers. 2 field goals off the turnovers. Cleveland nearly 3-1 outgaining the Rams right now. No looking downfield. The rookie tight end. Manawanui hauls it in. first and goal for the Rams. Keith Knoll finds the tight end.
That's what you want to do. You want to give your players an opportunity to make a play on the ball, and that's what Keith Knoll did.
25-yard gain.
Good job.
5th rounder out of Illinois.
We have a border war coming up here soon back in St. Louis.
Exactly 2 weeks away, Missouri and Illinois. Knoll on the rollout, throws it away. Got a good battle at tight end at the back end of the roster because Daniel Fells, Billy Badgema, a couple of returning players, and then Hoho Manawanui, 5th rounder, to go with Fendi Anaban, the basketball convert, 6th round pick.
Well, this way you want to use guys like that. Significant to offense in the red zone are tight ends and being able to run the ball.
2nd and goal for Knoll and the Rams. Keenan Burton, Dominic Curry in at receiver, toasting your running back. And it's toasting into the pile up the middle.
A number of people are not aware of how important a running game is in the red zone.
Marty Gilliard into the game.
Just downhill, you want to see more push with the offensive line. When you're in the red zone, closer to the end zone, you want to see low pads by your offensive line.
Rams' 3rd trip into the red zone on a 3rd and goal.
They've done well tonight when they've gotten their opportunities in the red zone.
No pumps, looks, back of the end zone. Tried to find Audubon, and they'll get the flag. There was contact back of the end zone, and the flag has been thrown.
Illegal contact, number 41, defense. After this is to the goal, 1st down.
That's the difference. When the ball's in the air, you cannot have your hands on the receiver. The way the rules are now, they're going to call that play every time.
He's looking for Fendi Anaban. Throw was really high.
Defensive back has his hands on the receiver. Cannot do that.
You can get away with a lot. Hands on the receiver. You're going to get flagged more times than not.
They're looking for that. That's the advantage offense.
So now a 1st and goal.
This one you have to have physical play.
Knoll has time. Wide open, back of the end zone. Had a receiver wide open. And it was Manawanui. Once again, he was open.
He was open. That's more of a touch pass. Looked like Knoll attempted to shoot a shotgun coming out of there. That's more of a touch pass. You have your guy wide open. You have no pressure. Just make a nice soft throw to your tight end. He's a big target.
Almost like in baseball, complete the rotation, finish your follow through. He let that one float. Probably got a little excited when he saw how open he was.
Correct. You also want to see a physical presence running the ball when you're close to the goal line like this.
2nd and goal, Rams to throw yet again. Curry caught it for a second. They say no. Browns were quick to say he didn't catch it. It was a low throw.
Here's a replay. I still want to see more aggression out of your slant. When you're running that slant, give a stick move to that cornerback and get inside and give your quarterback room to get the ball in there.
Curry, undrafted rookie out of Cal, Pennsylvania, that is. 3rd and goal.
Sprint pass.
No, looking end zone. I don't know if he threw it away or if it floated. Gilliard somewhat in the area.
He threw it away on that one, but that's a sprint pass. Sprint pass, when you recognize and look like Cleveland was prepared for it, the guys are a lot easier to cover when you run a sprint pass because it leaves the other side of the field no longer available to you.
Brings out Josh Brown, third field goal attempt of the night. He's 2 for 2. It's a 21-yarder. Brown makes these in his sleep. Now the coach was joking with us. If it was a long field goal and they didn't go for it, it was to protect Brown and that hip. So if there was a long field goal tonight, they may have passed on it, but the short one they take. Third field goal for Brown, and the unanswered streak has ended. Rams cut into that lead. It's now 17-16. 6 to go. Rams trail 17-16. Cleveland on top. Rams with a 9-play, 36-yard drive. The big connection, null, to Manawanui. But off the turnover, 3 more points. So 4 turnovers tonight, 9 points. You'd like to convert at least 1 turnover into a touchdown.
Well, according to Coach Spagnola's philosophy in terms of winning each quarter, he's 2-1 right now, and the most important quarter he needs to win is the fourth quarter, and they have it close.
Ball was on the ground for a second. Rams coverage has been good tonight.
The Rams have some players that are attempting to make the team on special teams, and that's what you want to see. Typically, linebackers, defensive back, and we even saw earlier a wide receiver running downfield.
Gerard Lawson handling the return. See if we'll see Colt McCoy maybe coming in at quarterback. The rookie from Texas, 3rd-round pick this year. Missouri fans have seen a lot of him. One of the winningest quarterbacks in the history of the NCAA.
It's interesting having Colt and Sam on the field, both Big 12, big-time quarterbacks.
Tell you what, it's part of the fun in the fourth quarter. When a lot of the action is between backups, you still get some star power when a rookie like McCoy takes the field. And as you mentioned, Bradford started Oklahoma. Colt McCoy started Texas, part of that Red River rivalry. Bradford coming out the top overall pick. McCoy, I think it's fair to say, slipped to the 3rd round. A lot of talk about him coming out of the draft. I'm not sure where he thought he would end up, but 85th overall. His height is one of the issues. He's listed at 6'1", and that feels a little generous. Bradford heading our way. Going to talk it over with Maurice Drummond as McCoy slides in safely. Colt McCoy has the game, but also one of the coolest names for a quarterback. Colt McCoy sounds also like an action figure.
It sounds like Indianapolis should have drafted him with that name.
Mo Drummond with a special guest right now.
All right, Martin here with Sam Bradford, the Rams' #1 pick. And right now you come into this game, Sam, you had an injury to A.J. Feely, maybe some extended minutes tonight. Huh?
Yeah, you know, I felt like I got quite a few snaps tonight. You know, that's always good. You know, I was hoping to get as many as I could tonight, and I felt like I probably got more than I thought I was going to get. So, you know, there's a lot of good learning experience out there tonight.
Preseason game #2, you got a chance to get out there last week in front of the home folks. Now on the road, obviously some tough sledding with these weather conditions.
Yeah, you know, obviously the rain made it, you know, less than ideal out there tonight, but that's something that, you know, we have to overcome as a football team. I felt like we handled it pretty well. Haven't had any turnovers to this point so far, and that's key.
You measure yourself from game to game. Is it more statistics? Is it more just the feel? How do you measure yourself?
Yeah, you know, I think it's tough to look at statistics. You know, at least for me, you know, just making sure I'm in the right place with the ball, making sure I'm getting the ball out on time, and I'm putting our offense in a position to win.
Offensive line had a tough night last week. Do you get a chance to talk to the guy? How does it work when you go ahead and try to get things going with that offensive line?
Yeah, you know, I thought they came out and responded very well. I thought they had a great night tonight. You know, they did a great job of keeping me clean, opened up some nice holes for our running back. So I think that they really stepped it up.
Thanks a lot, Sam. Appreciate that.
No problem.
All right, the Rams quarterback, Sam Bradford, back to you guys.
All right, thank you to Sam. Thanks to Mo and everybody working hard in the elements tonight. We'll take a break here from Cleveland. Appropriate with our wet weather tonight to talk about the weather team at Fox 2. Coverage you can count on. St. Louis's most reliable forecast with Dave Murray, Glenn Zimmerman, Chris Higgins, and Angela Huddy. Our team of meteorologists with more combined local experience than any other station in town. More than 60 years of combined experience forecasting weather right here in St. Louis. Fox 2 News is weather coverage you can count on. We have football again on Thursday. Rams will travel to New England. It's a short week. Patriot football on Thursday from Foxborough. We'll see Lawrence Maroney, St. Louis's own, Bill Belichick. Tom Brady looked sharp the other night.
New England's looking real sharp, but there's a lot going on with this Ram franchise. I think that this week we'll find out, as you mentioned in an interview with Kevin, the transition as it relates to ownership.
And I mentioned during the visit, the vote is Wednesday in Atlanta. Stan Kroenke's bid to take over majority ownership will be decided on Thursday. He needs 24 votes, and the presumption is they wouldn't be having the meeting. They wouldn't put it on the agenda if it wasn't going to pass. It's, I guess, not 100%, but all signs point to Stan Kroenke being approved on Wednesday. And the way it'll roll out is that Chip Rosenblum and his sister Lucia Rodriguez will maintain 30% ownership, at least for a couple of years, as they make this transition to Kroenke full-time as the 100% owner. And, you know,
encroachment, number 67, defense, 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
It's a convoluted process. Stan, of course, owning the Nuggets and the Avalanche. I think a lot of St. Louis, assuming he'll be the owner, but they're interested in how it works out because of these rules the NFL has with cross ownership. Who actually owns the Nuggets and Lanch? Is it his wife, his son? How do they come up with this plan? And then moving forward, what are Stan's plans for the Rams? Told it to be about a month after the vote before it's official that he's in charge. As Noel throws incomplete.
Well, the good thing, Chip and Lucia have done a very good job transitioning, selling in the franchise, coming in and making some difficult decisions and getting guys like Kevin, Coach Spagnuolo, Billy Devaney in the organization to really stabilize everything and get this ship turned back around.
And for the Rosenblum family, involved in Rams football for nearly 40 years, started with their dad, Carol Rosenblum. I think even when they're, quote, out of the football game, they'll still maintain maybe a 1% ownership or some small piece just for nostalgia. Their dad was a beloved owner of the LA Rams in one of the more bizarre deals. Traded for the Rams with Jim Irsay, who owned the Colts, or who owns the Colts family, owns them now. Rosenblum had the Colts, as I make this more confusing, and he traded with Irsay and the Rams, swapped franchises. But the Stan Kroenke era will begin with that vote next week, and then about a month after that, it will be official. And we'll see what Silent Stan finally has to say.
But you have to give the late Georgia Frontiere the credit with bringing a winning and a Super Bowl team to the St. Louis region.
Keith Tostin again up the middle. And I'm sure early in his tenure, Kroenke will be peppered with questions about the Dome, the long-term viability of football in St. Louis at the Dome, lease issues. But I think that can wait at least a little bit. First, we want to find out kind of his vision for the franchise.
Well, he's an excellent business person. He will find a way to continue to add to what they're already doing with the organization. Certainly the venue by which they're playing in, that will be an issue that has to be addressed.
So total yardage, the Rams still a little shy of what they put up a week ago. Through the hands of the rookie.
He had a drop there, but once again you see Noel. It's almost like he's throwing the ball where he gets a little pressure, but that ball is coming out high.
Looked like Manawanui was falling backwards as the pass was coming. But this is like backyard football. When you're a kid, you'd love to get out there and get muddy and slide around.
This is it. This is the way they design football to be played. There should be a lot more muddy jerseys down there. This field is too neat.
Tostin does a good job picking up the blitz, and Null able to complete. What is it about the number 86? Brandon Manu Maliuna. Now we've got Michael Hoho Manawanui. What happened to Roland Williams? That was a little easier.
Yeah.
Big robe. And again, the numbers on Tostin. First team All Big 12 in a league that's become pass happy. But those are impressive numbers.
Well, one of the things that backup running back needs to do, not only run the ball, but be able to pick up the blitz. And Tostin did a good job on that last play.
Null aired it out. Brooks Foster downfield.
Here's the replay. As you can see, Tostin, that's not a whirlwind block, but that was enough contact to give the quarterback a little time to make the throw. Noel has missed some open receivers today, too. Very good career at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State has put out some players. You have Dez Bryant with Dallas. They put out some guys lately.
Had a pretty good running back about 20 years ago.
Yeah, pretty
Sanders.
good. Sanders.
And Barry. That worked out. And now it's Darby in the backfield. And the ball's loose. Looks like the Rams did fall on it.
Boy, that's a solid hit. You got to hold on to the ball if you're a running back.
Phil Troutwine hops on it.
You're like a magnet when you're the running back. Even if you get hit, here's the replay. When you come through the line, you're running the ball. You're going to get hit. You got to consider yourself a magnet. But you got to hold on to the rock.
So a third down for Noel and the Rams. Again, a short week traveling to New England on Wednesday. And we'll have that game for you Thursday night from Foxborough. And historically, the third game is the closest proximity to the regular season. So we suspect we'll see the starters play the longest. Nice catch by Curry. First down.
Just more separation. Still, the receivers have to work to get more room for the quarterback to get the ball in there. He pressed him. Even though he made the play, they're still not pressuring the cornerback. They have to put more pressure on the cornerback up the field and then break off to give the quarterbacks more room to throw the ball. Noel got it in there, but Noel's had some opportunities that he's overthrown the ball. That's usually a sign of a quarterback having some jitters.
After the 14-yard gain up the middle with Tostin. We've seen Curry in coverage and now as a receiver.
That's what you want to do right there. You want to have an aggressive receiver. When you have that size, you want to use it on smaller defensive backs. So when you are running the route, that guy should have some type of trepidation of lining up on you.
And that's a good challenge for him because that's their top pick. Joe Hayden, the kid from Florida, playing late in this game.
You know, one of the guys we missed, one of the all-stars from Oak State, is Thurman Thomas out of Buffalo.
He had a pretty good career as well.
Well, Barry Sanders backed him up, so he's pretty good.
Pretty legit combo.
And then I was just reading in the USA Today last week, Barry Sanders has a son now who's now 5'11", who's taller than him. In high school, that he's a high recruit now.
Well, that's one of those bloodlines. You recruit him in second grade just in case. 3rd and 4 for Noel.
Let's see if Noel can settle himself down and hit the guy with a catchable ball.
Looking for Curry. Boy, that was a mugging. Hayden, the rookie, is going to get the flag. He may not like the call.
They're going to call it every time. He's mugging the guy. But the receiver, Curry, is not pressuring him enough.
Pass interference, number 23, defense. First down.
Curry's not pressuring him enough. You'll see on this replay, he's up the field. He has to pressure him and create separation. He's not creating separation.
Well, and Hayden, the All-American at Florida, had his left arm draped on Curry.
Yeah, they're going to call that all the time. But Curry has to use that body. If he's not going to get separation, use the body and ward off the defensive back. It's about a 3-inch difference in their heights.
Tostin puts his head down up the middle here. So the Rams with a chance to take the lead here in the late goings. Either a field goal or a touchdown. Last summer we had some late drama as well. Keith Noll was out there a couple of times where they had some fun in the fourth quarter.
Well, you have fun in the fourth quarter, but you still, if you Coach Spagnuolo and you're the Rams organization, you need to win some games. Even though it's preseason, you want to play well, but you need to get some victories under your belt so you guys can feel good about themselves and have more confidence.
12-play drive now with Knoll facing second and long. And Tostin getting the extended look. Brings up a third down. And with Feely's injury tonight and the short week, we'll see how that affects the starting quarterback in New England. Fans, media clamoring for the Bradford era to begin. It may be by default if Feely's thumb isn't recovered in time for Thursday.
Well, when you have an injury to Feely, that kind of makes the decision a lot easier for Coach Spagnuolo. Sam has to be ready to play.
And again, we don't know the extent of it, but Feely did leave in the first quarter with a thumb injury.
But the good thing, Feely looked excellent on the first drive with tempo and getting the ball in the end zone on the opening drive.
Knoll to throw, and it was in and out of the hands of Gilliard. So Josh Brown will have a chance to put the Rams in front.
This should be an excellent coaching session. Here's your replay. You don't see it on this play, but this should be an excellent coaching week for your wide receiver coach to teach the young guys you must create separation when you're in press coverage with a defensive back.
This time a 28-yarder. Brown perfect on the night. And a busy night for a guy coming back from a hip injury. His fourth field goal puts the Rams on top. 19-17, so a nice drive by Keith Knoll and the Rams. End up with the 3, and the Rams now have the lead. 3:29 to go. Time for our Hardy's star of the game, and we're going to give it to a unit, the Rams special teams. You have the 4 field goals by Josh Brown. You also have some great coverage and 2 forced fumbles tonight.
Well, when you have special teams, it's 3 phases. The offense, defense always gets the attention, but if you don't have a good special teams, usually you won't have a complete team.
And Tom McMahon's unit, one of the pluses in 2009 as well. We also saw Marty Gilliard show a little flash in the return game. This is Gerard Lawson for Cleveland. Still on his feet beyond the 35. So Colt McCoy, part of so many big moments down in Texas. Here's his chance to lead the Brownies back as the Rams have taken the lead. Cleveland won it at the buzzer last week in Green Bay as Colt McCoy nearly gets beheaded.
Pressure on the quarterback.
And it's our guy Cujo, Jermel Cujo from Central Oklahoma.
Cujo, he also had the corner blitzing as well. He came free. You may see a little more dogs, a little more blitzes because Coach Spagnuolo, he can taste this game. He wants to get this victory.
Appropriate, we have Cujo here in the dog pound. He flashed a little bit last week as well against Minnesota, undrafted from Central Oklahoma.
Looked like Cujo was attempting to get a dog bone.
And McCoy under pressure tried to set up the screen.
Looked like we have some fired up guys on defense that are looking to make a play.
Pressure from Ernest Reed, another undrafted rookie.
Here's the replay. These guys are getting off the ball. Look at Reed. You see Reed with the excitement. That's what you want to see. You want to see the big guys. You want to see them hungry, particularly in the fourth quarter. This is when you earn your scholarship.
There you go, Ern. Out of Maryland. So a 3rd and 10 for Colt McCoy.
Rams are in the zone.
McCoy scrambling. Ends up running and not much there. So the Browns will be forced to punt.
Like the Rams have some guys that have high motors and lots of energy and realizing their opportunity because next week is the 3rd preseason game.
Yep, for a lot of guys, it's now or never. First cuts will be after that 3rd game.
And here's your replay. They did a good job in the zone, not giving Colt McCoy any openings. But that 3rd preseason game, that's the game where the veterans or your starters will play the majority of the game. Typically, the 4th preseason game, your starters play very little.
Gilliard with another return. Gets an early block and runs right. Nice return.
We're seeing Gilliard get a lot of action tonight.
52-yard punt, 20-yard return for Gilliard. Next Thursday, we're in Foxborough. It's a 6:30 start. Rams and Patriots. It all follows Game Day Live from Fox 2. And for all of our affiliates, a 6:30 kickoff next week. Rams and Patriots. Multiple flags, by the way, on this return by Gilliard. Cartier Jackson.
Illegal motion, number 84, the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. It'll be first down, St. Louis.
So the block by Cartier Jackson was clean. However, the Browns had a penalty, so the 20-yard return now add 5 more.
There's still a number of Rams fans that even we're going to Foxborough this Thursday. There's still a lot of Rams fans that have a bitterness in their heart for Bill Belichick.
Well, you tell me. You were on the field. Super Bowl 36, Bill Belichick, that was the beginning of the great run for the Patriots. A lot of talk after the fact about Spygate and the fact they actually videotaped your walkthrough on Friday in New Orleans. Some of your teammates said, hey, it doesn't matter, just a walkthrough. We didn't do anything special. But the argument was always, well, if it doesn't matter, why are they doing it? So you feel how about Bill Belichick?
I think he's a very good coach. He's excellent at getting the most out of his players, and he's been productive, one of the best coaches over his tenure.
We now know that Aeneas can dance.
You find no conspiracy theory with me. They beat us fair and square in my hometown in the Dome.
In the Dome where you used to sell popcorn and peanuts.
Popcorn and peanuts and Cokes.
Now, Marshall Faulk has always said that he was also a vendor as a young child.
Allegedly.
You allege that he was there eating popcorn and peanuts.
Allegedly. Marshall probably was in the 9th Ward, somewhere Carver High School. I grew up in the 17th Ward, Holly Grove. He would never come over in my territory.
See, and I didn't say it. You said it. You can say that about Marshall. I can't. Marshall doing great work for the NFL Network these days.
He's doing very good work. It's a reason why they put Marshall and I at lockers next to each other, but we always kept an open locker. And he would always give me comments about you, Martin. He always told me to keep an eye on you.
Nothing but love from Marshall to me. It's the 2-minute warning, or it was. The clock has moved. No, it's 2:10. We were marching towards the 2-minute warning, and Cleveland has stopped it with a timeout here on the field. Eric Mangini, 5-11, first year with Cleveland. First year with the Jets. They loved him. The man genius, star of the tabloids, cameo in The Sopranos. They went 10-6, made the playoffs, and things kind of fell apart. So he's got a chance to kind of rebuild the image here from that Belichick tree, considered a little bit of a control freak, and maybe the Mike Holmgren influence will change things a bit.
It's interesting. Belichick was in with the Jets, goes over to New England, gets it turned around. Mangini with the Jets, gets run out of New York, and now he gets an opportunity to change the Cleveland franchise, unlike Belichick was able to do in his first coaching stint.
And now we do officially have the 2-minute warning here in Cleveland. The Rams are on top, 19-17. Preseason game number 2. It's been a wet night here in Cleveland. Bush has ended their losing streak. 5-1 winners tonight at Busch. Chris Carpenter gets the win. He beats Tim Lincecum and the Giants, so good news from Busch Stadium. Hopefully good news here in Cleveland as well. Our theme tonight, Aeneas, keep Sam Bradford clean, keep him upright, do a better job protecting, and also the Rams secondary, avoid the big breakdowns.
I thought the first unit offensive line did a very good job protecting Sam. Feely got injured early, but the first drive tempo, he was able to make the completions, get the team in the end zone, but also Sam was able to stay upright tonight. And when Steven Jackson is in there, you can see it looks like a totally different offense. Now I want to see a backup running back establish themselves. In the secondary, I saw Marquise Johnson come back and establish himself after last week being challenged. In the secondary, did a good job of not giving up the big play tonight.
I mentioned baseball, got you thinking about Marquise Grissom. Lawson goes to field it. I believe he touched it. Well, I think you could pick it up and run. They're not playing it that way. Tom McMahon was racing down the sidelines, the special teams coordinator. I think he and Spagnuolo are seeing the same thing. Yeah, run it into the end zone, son, just in case.
You always let the referees decide.
Keenan Burton gets into the end zone. Boy, I think he touched that ball. I'm not sure what Lawson was thinking. Ran up on it, and it skipped right past him. But just in case you run it in, and Burton was looking at the sideline, and his coaches said pick it up and run it in just in case.
When you're in this position, one thing you have to do as a player, defensive player, is tell yourself, I'm going to make the play. I'm going to make the play. I will make the play in this 2-minute situation. It's about someone making a play. That's how games are won with less than 2 minutes left in the game.
And we're next door to the replay booth. I wanted to knock on the window and say, take a closer look for us. We're under 2 minutes here. Take a look.
Well, I have a red towel in my pocket, but I don't think they'll honor that on the field from up here.
It's Brett Ratliff at quarterback. Former Jet. Product of Utah. And Ratliff was on the field last week in Green Bay with their game-winning drive. Trying to administer another late comeback. And against the Packers, Phil Dawson hit a 58-yarder with less than 2 minutes to go. That tied it. And then at the buzzer kicked a 46-yarder to win it. And Cleveland fans, still suffering the LeBron hangover, looking for anything, got excited about the Browns a little bit. There's some buzz. It's always tough, though, when you're in the AFC North. Talking about the Steelers and the Ravens and the Bengals.
Well, it's been a long dry spell here in Cleveland, and with LeBron doing it, not only him leaving Cleveland, but the way he did it, really rubbed a number of people the wrong way.
And the drop by Carlton Mitchell, and I've been waiting all night for Carlton Mitchell to be involved as we watch the drop.
As you see the replay, he's open. He has separation from the defensive back. It's just a drop. The defensive backs have to be more aggressive and stop the players in 2-minute situation.
Did you know, Aeneas, Carlton Mitchell, his mom is the cut man for boxer Antonio Carver.
Wow. He ought to be tough.
That's called Late Night at the Hotel. Martin and his friend, the media notes.
Whoa!
Interception. Bobby Carpenter has it. And that'll preserve the win. Bobby Carpenter, the former first-round pick, on the field late, picks off Ratliff.
The Carpenter.
Well, good night for Chris and Bobby Carpenter.
As I said earlier, in these situations, somebody has to make a play. Carpenter made the play.
And good determination to get that ball.
You got to want it, and this is what it's like in 2-minute situations. Somebody make the play. Carpenter made the play. This is how you get noticed. This is how you make a team.
The 5th turnover tonight for the Browns.
Typically, when a team has 4 or more turnovers, their percentages of winning are very high. Most time they win the game.
Keith Knoll able to take a knee. We'll do it a couple of times here, and the Rams will walk away with a 19-17 win. And good bounce back after.
This is a good momentum booster for the Rams. They need to establish some confidence. It always helps when you win. Feel better about yourself, particularly when you're a young team. Until you do it, there's still that confidence that's lacking.
Mercifully, the last time out called by Cleveland. Thanks to all of our crew tonight. Not the best working conditions, especially everybody under a camera on the field. Kind of an ugly night here in Cleveland. We're nice and dry up here in the booth, but we appreciate everybody's efforts tonight.
You know,
we haven't seen Mo in a while. He may have headed home already.
Well, I was hoping to get Mo a LeBron jersey so we could stir up these Cleveland fans, but he wouldn't wear it out on the field. And the crew is.
That would be the one way to get Maurice disliked. Otherwise, it's not possible. I think he did leave. You know, he's from Baltimore. Could he do a Rick Dempsey just across the field right now? Do a little slide. Well, the Rams will have a win tonight. They'll head back to St. Louis and then head to New England. Fear the elf.
Wow.
Keep that in mind.
It's a mean-looking elf.
Kind of like Jerry Springer's closing thoughts. Before we go, we give you a special message. Fear the elf. And the final kneel down for the Rams as they win tonight. A game they create 5 turnovers. They win the turnover battle 5-zip. They win the game 19-17 in a game that A.J. Feely started. Left the game injured, and then Sam Bradford took over. So the Rams winners here at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Come back, some final thoughts, some final stats. We'll wrap it up next here on Fox 2.